Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures trying to bounce back into positive territory this morning after another very volatile session yesterday. We did see the Dow briefly hit all-time highs intraday yesterday, while the NASDAQ, the complete opposite, fell another 3% at the end of the session. We'll have a little bit of look at both tech stocks bouncing back first off this morning. So it looks like going to be a positive day here, at least for tech stocks. Higher bond yields remain the focus. We got up to 1.6 on the 10-year yesterday, 1.6% that is by the end of the session. We're back to 1.55, 1.54 first thing this morning. Tech stocks, as I mentioned, down about 2.4% at the end of the session yesterday after breaking 3% just before the close. The tech-heavy benchmark closing below the 10% mark off the highs, which means official correction territory. Individually this morning, we're watching Zoom video conferencing shares, ZM to the upside this morning. Big move down after market yesterday after the company's founder said he had transferred 40% of his stock to undisclosed parties. We'll have a look at that. Stitch Fix, meanwhile, plummeting as well after earnings and cutting their full year forecast. It's Tuesday, March 9th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at North American markets to start things off. Yeah, big bump there for the NASDAQ, 2.25% on the futures right now. We have a full percent for the S&P 500. The Dow 0.3 to the upside. TSX futures looking to open higher here in Toronto. Look at Bitcoin. Yeah, 4.25% to the upside. We're back above 54,000 this morning. Crude oil slightly lower and gold back in positive territory as well. There it is, guys. We've been mentioning it over the past couple of days. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. First of all, we're getting ever so close to that 200,000 subscriber mark. Make sure you take a second and subscribe to this channel if you are joining us for the first time. Good morning, guys. Going to be an interesting day once again. We saw bond yields again coming back towards that 1.6 area late in the session yesterday, sending all these growth stocks and tech names to the downside in a big way. But what a bounce setting up here this morning so far.
Yeah, I mean, take your pick. I mean, across the board, the entire, I mean, just about everything you can see that was depressed, you know, everything in the NASDAQ, every single major name, people are going to be happy to see their account balances, certainly. You know, you get these types of, I guess, you know, correction territory, like 11% off the highs for the NASDAQ, and you're going to get bounces. I mean, I was just having a quick look at Quantscape here. And wowzers. I mean, you know, you look at that bottom from a couple of days ago, like 38, and we're looking to possibly break through a 50 even today. So into a strong day, you have some names which are poised to potentially fill in some rather large gaps, which has everyone, I think, probably a little bit excited today. It is worth keeping in mind, of course, you know, you still have to watch that treasury yield rate. I mean, the NASDAQ is going to be following it, so any kind of spike there would be rather interesting. What might not be interesting is, and I don't think I'll be, well, I mean, it's going to be at 10 o'clock, so we're obviously not going to be tuning in, but there's another one of those Senate hearings on, you know, Robinhood and GameStop and all of that. I'm not really sure what's going to come out of it, but I'm sure a few people will be listening to it. Probably worth reading after the fact to see if there's any legislation that gets discussed. But I think it's going to be much ado about nothing personally, Sean.
Yeah, well, I mean, just like the first time, it was pretty much much ado about nothing. And it's just fun to see the grandstanding and see what happens. And I mean, I look here at GameStop and like, wow, we're up again, boys. 218, so it is going to the moon here. It looks like, I mean, it actually looks like a normal stock, to be honest with you. Like, if you forget about what's on the right side here, all these crazy prices and where we started from, it actually, you know, it made a base here, like 100, 120, tested that a couple times and seems to have held. Now you're up to 218. I mean, it actually, it still looks ridiculous, but you know, maybe there is something here again. So let's see, you know, how far this one wants to run today. AMC and Rocket not doing anything like this, but GameStop continues to be the mover. We talked about, well, you mentioned there quickly on our notes there, Stitch Fix as well today, not moving upside. It's down 22% today. So Stitch Fix, we'll see if it can hold this 55 level. Doesn't look like it wants to, back down through to 50. So Stitch Fix on a bad report, and the market Nice. So, we've had these days, guys, where it's gone green to red, back to green to severely red, back to green, and then we see where we close. So let's see what happens today. I feel like today we'll hold this. So we'll see if we can hold this plus 2% on a day when Bitcoin right now, guys, approaching $55,000 once again, 54.2 right now, Brendo.
Yeah, ugly report there for Stitch Fix and the full year forecast. Not a good look as well. Before we get into what is moving around in the pre-market this morning, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, Brendan, and welcome back, everyone. I wish you a great trading day. Please enjoy the show, and you already know, hit thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brendan.
Yeah, let's get it started, guys, by having a look at how traders here at Day Trade the World fared yesterday. Big numbers to show you in the top 10 traders here from Day Trade the World. Yeah, six-figure club for number one there, coming out of a big mix of markets here. The Amex, some Canadian content. You can see, look at all the European markets here at number two, 28,000. More European markets here, number three, 27,000. So wide variety of markets, wide variety of opportunities still available in this market overall. I want to start things off with a little bit of a look at the overall market here, guys, because it was very interesting, to see the disparity between the Dow and the NASDAQ yesterday, moving in complete opposite directions almost at the same time. We saw that selling coming in late in the day, specifically on the NASDAQ. Tech stocks really getting hit heading towards the end of the session yesterday as the 10-year rose. And at the same time, the Dow, meanwhile, was making all-time highs.
I mean, it's composition, right? We talked about being in the right names at the right time. And I mean, if you're in energy, if you're in banking, if you're in any of the industrials, then you want to be in the diamonds, which I have up here right now is the Dow. And I'm just showing this because a lot of us aren't able to trade indexes. So DIA, if you want to look at DIA, that's the Dow Jones 130, basically the Dow 30. And you can see, yeah, you're 100% right, Brendan. Just straight to the upside, making new highs, all-time highs yesterday, 320. I mean, look at this chart. Pretty easy, pretty smooth. All the way back, it was disastrous, back months and months ago. Now it's looking much, much better. The March bottom, 180. So this is what the diamonds look like, right? So we call them the diamonds, and that's the Dow Jones. And then watch what the NASDAQ looks like, right? So the triple Qs here over there on the NASDAQ. So you're going to see almost, it looks very, very similar until you get to what's happened lately. Oh, come on. QQQ. Why did that not switch here? Come on, NQs. Let's go. Get it going. There it is. Yeah. So look at this. I mean, what a stark difference there. Basically the same run up. Everything was fine until we started worrying about yields a little bit and thinking that, the economy is going to reopen. There's more jobs out there. There's more, good thoughts here. Positivity throughout the economies, people going back to work and whatnot. All of a sudden, some of those growth metrics had to get chopped. And that's basically what happened here to the NASDAQ. It got chopped just a little bit. I mean, it's just down 10. It's actually, I guess it's just entered 10%. So correction territory yesterday, I believe. So the high there, 338 on the Qs, down to 300, and then a nice little bump up today. So again, the Qs right there, and then the diamonds, which is the Amex, which is for the Dow, you can see still bumping to the high spot, and looks like we'll even make a new high again today. So I think it's just composition. I mean, and that's why we talk about, and when you guys join us and you talk about, asking us questions, portfolio diversification, right? I mean, I looked yesterday, the TSX here in Toronto also at record highs as well, right? And so, I mean, it's just a matter of where is your money parked? Do you have exposure to, some yield? Do you have exposure to some of the financials? Do you have exposure to some energy? And if you do, then your portfolio is going to be well balanced and you're going to withhold some of this. I think it's almost time. I talked about this yesterday, rotating my holdings out of JPM and into some of these higher risk spots. And I'm not even talking about crazy risk. I've rotated into Square. I've rotated into AMD. I bought some more of that BFT, which is going to be pay safe. And I think it's time, and we'll talk about Microsoft. I think that's going to break out today too.
Yeah, I mean, you start thinking about some of the recent components. We've been talking about this in the Dow Jones. So, everyone knows Disney. We've mentioned Caterpillar a few times. It's worth noting, I mean, here, basically flat on the session, something like a Caterpillar. I was taking a quick look at a U.S. Steel and some of those, more cyclical type of names that you should be paying attention to as well. And I don't think, necessarily that any of these names are going to sell off in any sort of abundance, but if you have to look to be taking profit, certainly when you're looking at Caterpillar up here at like a 225, and then you're looking at opportunities like like Snapchat at 55 or something, maybe something that you haven't been able to get into on the rally, and you want to see if you can get some of that money into it. Things like Caterpillar and US Steel, if you have those types of names in your portfolio, it does make a lot of sense to take profits. I don't personally think that they're going to be coming in, so it's not the reverse effect. To me, it's not as if now that the NASDAQ's rebounding, you're going to see some of these names in the Dow pull back in. It's just that they might lag if there is a little bit of a bounce coming today, which all indications are that seems like it's going to be the case.
I think it's going to be one of those days where we have a lot of symbols to kind of keep in mind and look at as we head towards the open. Just saw a headline on this one, guys. Beyond Meat popping up here. Not a ton of volume, but a nice little pop in the pre-market, 3.25%. They're expanding the amount of products that they're offering at Walmart stores across the U.S. So 2,400 plus Walmart stores nationwide in the U.S. Getting a couple of new products. So, I mean, not a huge headline, but nice look here for Beyond Meat, guys.
Yeah, I think Beyond Meat, we talked about this, I think it gets bought on any weakness here. I'm still a holder of the IPO for Beyond Meat. I mean, I have sold some, obviously, and but you know what? Oh, come on. There we go, back to the all right, NASDAQ, let's load up these charts. Beyond Meat, it just has to get back to the 50 period, so that's it, and then I'll start buying it again. So as soon as we crack back above 150, I like Beyond Meat. I think it needs to be held. I think we talk about getting first mover, and I think Beyond Meat has that. It's a great product, quite frankly. I don't, everyone that I know that tried them, as long as they're not super pro meat and they give it a shot, then I think they, I've heard good things. They have the new program with McDonald's, apparently Yum Brands as well, PepsiCo. I mean, they're signing with all the big names and they are the front runner. So you have this little level right here. I mean, basically 145, I think, was a little congestion there. We had some congestion back here at 145, and then a breakthrough 150, I think sales to 180, 170. So yeah, Beyond Meat, I mean, just another name. There's going to be a lot of high-flying NASDAQ names today. That particular news, Brendan, I guess doesn't really give it too much of a shot in the arm, but it does go back to 140. And then we'll look at this 142.50 level from yesterday morning.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because Beyond Meat, if you look at that, if you go from yesterday morning, that top, I mean, it was a bit, if you just sort of going back into the second early last week, it was a bit of a support level that turned into this new resistance, which does set up for a bit of a breakout play. My personal take on Beyond Meat is it's really about the minority rule. You read on Nassim Taleb, and it's just, at some point in the future, and in terms of a long-term play, you have to start thinking that the lion's share could be these meat alternative products, right? So it's really more about like a long-term play for me personally. But in terms of a setup for a trade, just about every single, and I shouldn't say every single, but if you look, you have so many charts that are going to look like this, where you have 50% retracements, 40% retracements, 25% retracements on names that had doubled up in the last quarter of last year. So many charts are going to look like this, and you find the ones that are in zones like this, and we always talk about these cluster areas. And Beyond Meat is basically right in an older cluster where it had serious movement to the upside at the beginning of the year out of here, and then you look for those breakouts. I mean, that's the only reason why Brendan mentioned there'd be an overwhelming number of names to track on a day like today, because there's going to be a lot of setups like this. I was looking at Zoom, like we always showed QuantumScape, I was looking at Snapchat, and I have Beyond Meat, and there's going to be a million names on a day like today. So preparation is key, knowing which ones you want to hone in on, because you can't trade them all. It's just impossible unless you're an algo.
Yeah, I think it's going to be coming fast and furious today. Let's get right into it here, guys, because it's hard to avoid. GameStop, I'm speaking of, 11.5% again this morning here, back to 220, if you can believe that, in the pre-market. I mean, we mentioned the Ryan Cohen news yesterday. Everyone knew that was already going to happen. Added to the board officially. Going to work on getting them towards an e-commerce business model specifically. But, I mean, Neil mentioned the hearings coming up in Washington again today on this. Probably a non-event, but here we go, 220 this morning for GameStop.
I mean, it's interesting if Roaring Kitty comes on there, because he was, obviously he acquitted himself well. I think a lot of people felt that. I don't know who it was in the chat, and I apologize for this. Yesterday, and we were talking about GameStop through 158. I know both Sean and I were looking at that trade, and both had that, but obviously didn't hold on to it long enough. But somebody in the chat, and I saw it flash, someone said fill in the entire gap, and this is what they were talking about, going back to Feb 1, this like 212 bottom before it eventually gapped down. So You did see that exact move take place. I mean, if you look at the top, you go right into like just afternoon, it was essentially right into there. So, I mean, whoever made that particular call, I want to just give you a shout out. I just wish I knew what the name was. And I think it's always important, and when you set these targets, that's why sometimes you look at levels like that, go back to previous history. If it was previously that gap down price, if it was yesterday's high, it's also right around the current pre-market low. So the only level I have written down is 210. 150 in yesterday's action was the ultimate like sucker short, right? So I mean, I got suckered into it after making money in the breakout long. I got suckered into the short, got in 150 on the break, and then got out at like 152 and change. So if the same thing happens here today, I'm going to resist the temptation to punch into the short and actually look for the quick retracement. So if it ends up being a sucker short through 210, I'd almost want to catch this one on the way up. It just feels like with the hearing and the renewed momentum, positive wins in the market, you know, GameStop, who knows where it could absolutely go, but 210 is the level that I'll be watching. I don't have anything else written down. Usually breakouts do present themselves later in the day as well. If it holds below 210, I think maybe if it's below 200 or gets below that price, you can start thinking about it being a short day.
And we got something else going to the moon right now too. It looks like we got something called BTC right now. Bitcoin up to 54.6. Like amazing. We touched overnight. Well, I guess depends on where you are. 54.4. We just cracked that level there just now, straight to the upside. I mean, Bitcoin looks like it's rocking and rolling, guys. Bottoms 50, 51, 44. When we tweeted that out 2 weekends ago, that was a great opportunity to buy. We did some buying there. 54.6 right now. Ethereum 1835 right now as well, and then Cardano $1.18. So yeah, I mean, things ripping and rocking here in crypto land. So you know, crypto goes as NASDAQ goes. That's what I've noticed. So you're going to get a nice little big move up there in crypto. So you could see here DoorDash coming off, some lockups coming through as well. So that stock's going to be under a hell of a lot of pressure. NEO, we're going to talk all about these names like you mentioned, guys. There's lots on board here. NEO today, Palantir there, finally a buy. Like, could this thing get up? Someone said I is going to go longer, go above their Palantir. You may be right. That could happen very, very soon. XPEV, everything's on here. All the big names are on here. There's lots to get through. There's your SOS from a Bitcoin love affair, up 15% as well. And then we have Invita on the board there. Miss Woods yesterday calling this the most undervalued position in her ARK fund. So we'll talk about that. Up a nice little smooth 12%. And gee, Brendan, I wonder if you look at this chart here, you know, so here's the time, you know, everything's going fine. All the volume is normal. I can't figure out where on the chart Kathy Wood said this thing was undervalued. I can't find it out. I don't know if it was here, or maybe down here, or maybe right here, actually. This may be something down there, Brendan. $31 right to 36. Maybe there was something about that.
Yeah, something happened late in the day on that stock. Yeah, she might have made some comments about how great it is. Yeah, we'll talk about NVTA coming up. I checked on the weekend just because I was curious again, guys. I'm talking about Peloton delivery delays. They're still, at this point, quoting 10 weeks if you order one off of their website for delivery. They came out this morning and said it was actually aftermarket yesterday, said they're expanding into Australia for the first time. So Peloton going to be available in Australia. If it takes 10 weeks to get one here, they're manufactured, I assume, in the US. How long is it going to take to get to Australia, I wonder?
Not as long as it takes to get your Stitch Fix shipments out of a container, because apparently they're having even more problems when it comes to deliveries. And look, whatever. I mean, it's probably going to be too easy to beat up on Stitch Fix today because they're one of the few names that's significantly down. So apologies to them for that. They actually could get a bounce today. I mean, Peloton, and I hate to say it, but this is going to fall right back into the pattern that you're basically seeing. You have a couple days ago, you get that bottom, you get the higher low. The only difference here, and why when I look at the Beyond Meat versus Peloton, it was an easier sort of area to get a breakout from. Right? Like if you try to find like the size of these, if you look for like maybe like the weak support down to like a 103, 104 area where there was some chop, you go to the top end of that and start thinking, okay, but 110, no, we were breaking through to like 115 yesterday. Not necessarily as clean and as clear when it comes to Peloton as you would have seen on Beyond Meat. I tend to think that you also have the other end of this, which is as the vaccine rollout happens and maybe people start going back to the gyms. I mean, I'm a little skeptical about that in the long run, but certainly it is a part of the play here that they could see some deceleration in growth in addition to these shipping issues. But demand is demand. I tend to feel like this is a stock that has a chance to break out. I would like Beyond Meat a little bit better today on the setup if you had to compare the two, but there's no ignoring it. Everything's up 5%. You see this one up 5%. I just don't like the setup for the breakout.
Yeah, look, I mean, people love their Peloton. People even in the comments, they're loving it. So I don't think, I mean, shipment delays just means more people are ordering them. And, you know, into Australia, I don't know, another big market, I would assume. And they're just wanting to get more love. So I think Peloton, you know, expanding their market share should be a good thing. Obviously, in this tech rout that we've just experienced here, Peloton got smoked. I went long 118, and I think I may do this again. I'm out now, thank God. But we did get long 118, and then we got out some in 160, and then we got out everything else. I think it was 140. It was basically on a 150 break. I think it was 148 at the time, right where this 50 period was. So we got in on this break right here. I mean, this is actually what I did. So in on this break right here, once it got going, and then so super lucky that we hit the right cycle there into Christmas, into the new year. A lot of people, obviously, you know, New Year resolution. I want to work out. So that was a good one. And then right back down here, throwing back down through 145 and out. And I really think, honestly, like, this is another play for me. As soon as we break through 120 on the upside, I'm going long again on Peloton. So let's just wait to see if that can break through 120. But until then, we could test lower. So let's just hold off on our Peloton positions here. If you're in it, I think you're fine. And I think you've just had that wick down. We had that whoosh, right? I mean, just a couple days ago, and it ticks down rate. I mean, just like DraftKings, like you could have had DraftKings at 55. I talked about that on the show. That was one of my biggest buys for anybody was DraftKings at 55. But this Peloton right there on that same whoosh down got all the way to 92. I mean, that was that low back in November. What a great opportunity to buy down there. I mean, we can look at a lot of stocks for that day, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, Thursday, I believe it was, with that huge move down, or was it Friday? But anyways, Peloton ding to that 92, and I like that level, but not bullish again, guys, until 120-ish.
All right, guys, quick look at upgrades and downgrades so far this morning. Big lots on here again 2 or 3 times in the past couple of weeks. MasterCard, Ulta Beauty, haven't seen that one for a few months now. XPeng as well. We had earnings obviously on Monday for XPeng. Now it gets the upgrade. A couple of clean energy names on the downgrade side today. It'd be worth watching that group. FCell, First Solar, SunPower on here as well. It is higher on the day so far, but price target cut for that one, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see Apollo on there, but they made like an $11 billion all-stock purchase just now, so that's probably why it's depressed. But XPeng, I mean, we're going to talk about the EV space, so I don't want to jump too much into it, but I'm sure, as usual, when we talk EVs, the focus is going to be on Tesla and NIO. We talked about XPeng a little bit in yesterday's action, just to show you, and I want to make sure you guys can see the daily chart there. And XPeng has been the weakest of the entire bunch, and it almost got down to what I think would have been like the absolute gold at like a 22.50, but it's sort of worth noting if you go back, like 25 did make a heck of a lot of sense, and that seems like it's a bit of a bottom. I like to throw, I like these like 10, 20% type of moves to the upside. You get 20%, you look at that 30 level, which could form into a bit of resistance. It did try to make a breakthrough in the morning yesterday before flushing back in. Of course, there was that sell-off in tech, which does bleed itself into EV space with some of the higher flying names, or at least of last year. So I'm going to be watching 30 even on XPeng. It's definitely going to be a level for me. There's no way around it. Sometimes the third time is a charm, and this is the third day that it's actually going to test a 30 break potentially. It's not quite there yet. I don't want to be buying the dip here. If there's a move down in the EV names off of the open, well, I'd feel a heck of a lot better if there's a dip buying in NIO on weakness than I would in XPeng. So the only way I want that one is with momentum to the upside. So otherwise, it would be NIO for me.
Yeah, I've only been trading NIO for the last couple of weeks, so I think that's a good one to keep looking at. NIO, I mean, trade the best. It's just like someone just said, what's up with weed stocks? I would just say trade CGC, right? And I mean, it depends if you're trading, I guess, versus owning. And obviously, if you're joining us for the show, for the first time on the show, welcome. And I'm going to ask once again right now, let's get some more likes, like 800 likes right now, 6,000 people watching. If you guys could just hit the like button. We do this show for free, absolutely free every single day. We got a new thumbnail today. Yeah, we're trying out a few new things. So hit the likes, and if you can, and support the show, because you know what? I mean, we're giving you all the names here. We've got the free watch list. A great interview yesterday. Sammy the Legend is up there on the Market Wisdom page. You guys can check that out as well. So look, we're excited for another big day here. And I mean, let's give a thumbs up, even if not for us, guys. Let's give a thumbs up. Valeria's in green. So well done, Valeria. Well done. There it is. Give a thumbs up. You're on camera there. What's up? Okay, so she's in the green. The market right now is in the green. And you know what? I mean, if you guys want to talk about superstition, keep the karma flowing, give the thumbs up, man. Like the show, and we'll see what we can do for you, because hopefully this market will stay green. Let's go Neo, and let's have a look at Tesla too.
Sean, I saw a comment. It was a quick one in the chat, and it flew by. But someone mentioned we should get 2 bottles of champagne if Bitcoin reaches 100,000. So my mission to you guys is, how about we actually get to 200,000 subscribers before we get to 100,000 on Bitcoin? Let's just say we'll all be having a party if Bitcoin hits 100,000. I think everyone will be very, very excited about that. So champagne's no problem for that one particularly there. But you got to get through today first, and let's try to focus in on making this the best show possible. We've been waiting for a green day like this, and so many opportunities abound, Brennan.
All right, yeah, let's jump into what's moving around in the pre-market, guys. We'll have a look at the watch list. If you haven't done so, take a second, get over to that link and register so you can have a look at all the names that are moving around in the pre-market. We send out the list every single morning before we come on at 8:30. So no more emails. That is where you find the absolutely free watch list every single morning. Let's get into Zoom video communications. Conferencing, not communications. I wrote communications. It's actually conferencing. Higher this morning, Morgan Stanley with a price target increase on the stock. This was after we had a big move down in the aftermarket yesterday. The founder came out and said he had transferred 40% of his stock and stake in the company into undisclosed parties. He later clarified that it was just estate planning. Then we get the price target increase from Morgan Stanley. So Zoom, back to the upside, guys.
Yeah, so first of all, Brendan, you're better than you think you are. It is Zoom video communication, so you're right. So yeah, better. Hey, look, good to be good. Or what is that saying? It's great to be good. It's bad. I don't know, whatever it is. Who cares? Okay, so I just want to talk about eyes quickly. We will look at that. Eyes, watch out for this bottom. I mean, we're up so huge today, 70%. I do think we could take out the top. I'm going to play a break through 22, and we're also going to watch and see what happens here through 18. So watch out for eyes. You may see that fly into one of my positions or Neil's very, very soon. Okay, Zoom here. I mean, on the 1 minute chart, it just got pummeled yesterday in the afternoon. I mean, a lot of stocks gave back yesterday, and including Zoom. Zoom all the way up yesterday to 340, closing at 308. Just an absolute disaster there. And then now today we're getting some love back to the upside. This can move a hell of a lot. You can see the spread right now, $1. Someone said in the chat I made them a hell of a lot of money this morning. I don't know how I did that, but congratulations to whoever that was. Zoom flying. I mean, and just look at this. You know what? Honestly, for as crazy as Zoom got, it made a lot of sense back in October. We were all panicking. There was schools back and forth, a lot happening there. Using that protocol, a lot of conferencing happening. This whole run to me completely makes sense. Is it overdone? Obviously. But now we pull back, and then I'm confident now that there's a little bit of a bottom here. I just think if you can hold this 300, there's psychological differences here when you get to 300 as opposed to like 290 or 270, like all the way down here. So let's just see if it can hold 300. They're speaking the right tone right now, up 5%. We just got to get above right here, and that's that 560 area. So, sorry, 360. If we can get above this little consolidation point, then I like Zoom. The bottom of this, though, is where we could look at today, 338. It's where we started yesterday, so I'm looking at 340. So let's wait to see if Zoom can get to 340 where we started yesterday. I want to break yesterday's move down, so let's see if we can do that. 340 is going to be a spot for Zoom.
Yeah, and we have to do this every time you get these rampant pullbacks. When you talk about a 450 to 300, you're basically pulling back in like a third of the value, and that's what happened in just a few sessions. But you go all the way back into August 31st in Zoom, and look at this breakout price. This is literally like 303. You go back, look at that dip. It's 303. You start talking, and this is not the first time you see something like that. Tesla's big run up started at like a 3. It was one of the biggest moves was a break from like 350, and that's pre-split. When COVID hit, the March bottom was like 350. So every now and then you will see levels like that. That's one of the reasons I tend to. I would have taken this if it had not been 50,000 shares in volume in the pre-market, but I like the 325 just with the idea that if we're going to basically base out here right in this nice cluster above that 303, gap up past it, then you can take the 25 into that 340 and then look for the secondary break. But the spread at the time was like $1.50, which means if 325 breaks, you might be buying 326 and change, which that's not too appealing to me at like 8:45 in the morning, 45 minutes before the open. So I still like that price, and maybe you can get even better, like a 320 in front of that pre-market low. But I got to believe if the market's going to be up, Zoom is one of those retracement plays which should be near the top of the radar.
Let's have a look at the overall market. Now we'll check in with Arun and see what he is looking at for the futures markets this morning. Arun, here we go back to the upside finally.
Here we go back to the upside. We're up. We're in an interesting area, actually. In between this, 60 to 80 mark, there's a lot of selling up here. So I am going to be on the lookout for some shorts. I think if we get back below 50, we are sitting right at 60 at the moment. If we get back below 50, I think that kind of verifies the zone. But right now, it does seem like there's a little bit of upward drift going into the open. We are still half an hour away, but it does look like there's some upward drift for the moment. So as we drift inside this zone, all the way going up to 80, I am going to be looking for some shorts. If we can get below 50, I will step in automatically there. But inside of this zone, I am just kind of seeing how this market reacts as we, bounce a little bit higher and higher each time. Maybe some shorts up here as well. Now, if we get below 50, we keep on going. I don't see anything until at least 15. So there's a lot of space to the bottom there. If we get into the 15s, then you have potential support pretty much from 10, 15 area going all the way down to 37.75. So that's a big zone as well. So there's a lot of space in between the areas that we've been working with. And that just, comes with the volatility that we've had recently. So I would just keep an eye out at the moment. The trade that makes the most sense is just keeping your eyes peeled for some shorts going up to 80.
Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Yeah, looking a lot more positive so far. But as Arun said, definitely an area where we've seen selling in the past. Stitch Fix, guys, we talked about, big move down, both in the aftermarket yesterday. We're trying to actually hold some levels here. I just had a look in the pre-market, not a lot of volume, but yeah, earnings not good for Stitch Fix. They also cut their full year 2021 revenue forecast, guys.
So I heard this talked about, and it didn't make any sense to me, and it didn't make any sense to pundits that were talking about this as well. That if part of the concern was issues with shipping, why would that affect your forward guidance when it comes to revenue? You essentially you just roll it forward. So ultimately, you should still have those sales booked, and it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And the other side of this too is you look at Stitch Fix as a beat up stock, and you had this support at like 54.66, which just recently got broken. And you think about what their model is and what people going back to work and reopening, getting out to bars, maybe caring a little bit about their wardrobe. There are a lot of things in terms of the recovery end that kind of make sense for me here on a Stitch Fix. So as much as I was making a couple of jokes, thank you, Randy. It's freezing in here, so I have warm coffee.
Yo, Randy, thanks for the coffee, Randy.
That ain't right. He shut you out there. You know what, Randy, you got to do better than that, man. But it's a little cold in here. Now I got a warm coffee, but I just feel like there's a bit of a reopen play as well. And rising tide can lift all ships at times. So I'm looking for a possible rebound little play for Stitch Fix. Obviously, it's not a good situation for their guidance to have come negatively. Here's the problem. We already broke through the level, and again, I don't like pre-market trades when there's low volume. When I was looking at Stitch Fix this morning, it was like a 53 half break that I would have liked. These things happen like a little bit too early in the morning for me to be able to have a position here, especially with the spread that I was looking at that particular time. But the reason I showed you the daily chart was that other level at 54.65. That price area could be good for another break. If we get any kind of a dip, I'd be looking to support about 51.5, 52. If it breaks the bottom, you can just quickly be out of it and say, okay, walk away from it. You also can look at yesterday's bottom in the aftermarket there. That's 50 even if you have a bigger stop return, or if you're looking for like a swing type play and you want to give it more room. But for me, I'm not going to be attempting to short this one too heavily today unless we're breaking through those lows. And right now, it seems like the rebound is in on Stitch Fix as well.
So AMC Entertainment Holdings, guys. AMC today could be on watch. It's already up that 2%. It's done 2.5 million shares. I want to shout out to Valeria. Thanks for the water. But yeah, look at this, 960 right now. could be one of those levels. It's bumped up into there a couple times today, 960. We did touch 950 the last couple weeks, so bang, bang, bang. Now it looks like we're holding that well, I mean, we're below it, but it looks like we're hovering around this 950. Yesterday wasn't super crazy. I mean, the bottom yesterday, basically 850 to top. Let's call it 950 again. So about $1 worth of range. I don't think there's really anything to be too afraid of here with AMC. I don't think there's any reason that we travel back down here today. I think that this is a beautiful base. I've said that before. I like the base of $6 on the daily chart, but this looks fine to me too here. So you know what? Maybe now the base is 7 or 8 on the reopen. So let's watch a 960 break. Remember, if we do get all that talk there on Capitol Hill today, we'll see if that leads anything. But right now, I do like AMC. And there he is, Randy. Thank you for the coffee, and sorry about the hard time there, Randy. But
no.
You're back in the building, Randy. It's nice to have him here. It's nice to have see some fresh faces because you know what? We're still on lockdown here. Basically, we just went to gray zone, and no employees will be in these Day Trade the World offices, or any traders at least until June 30th around here. So it'll be a tight little area, but we're welcoming all people here on the show. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be another good trade day, and I'm looking at AMC and I'm looking at Stitch Fix to break that 50 bottom, guys.
Yeah, AMC with earnings after market, and don't confuse it with AMCX, because AMC Networks has been a big time mover and has been heavily shorted as well.
Yeah, gray zone here in Toronto for the first time yesterday, meaning a lot of people getting their shopping done for the first time yesterday. Yeah, it was going to be an expensive day. Let's just put it that way as far as Winners and Marshalls is concerned. GME, guys, Sean, you mentioned AMC. We talked about GME a little bit, but 17% here. Yeah, forget about 220. Here comes 230 now on GME, guys.
It's all the way up.
Wowza.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Wait, there's another rapper we should be quoting today, Sean. I think let's keep it to Biggie Smalls references on March 9th. Look, all kidding aside, rest in peace. We did mention GameStop, and like I said, of course, I mean, it's already breaking through highs. This is a bit of a theme. At some point, I'm always willing to get into like a small cap short early, and the INVO is going to be the one today, and that looks sort of okay in front of that 550 right now. But Zoom broke 325 already. Stitch Fix broke 53.50, so the levels that I wrote down are getting a little sparse here. I don't know that GameStop is going to give us that 210 test, because that's the level that I really, really like today. I don't think the hearing is going to matter at 10 o'clock, but we shouldn't ignore it. I mean, like, we've seen the stock move when they have the hearings before, so at least maybe have an ear to the ground in case something crazy comes out of it. In terms of breaks, there are no obvious levels, and levels don't always matter when it comes to a GameStop, but it's the 210 that I'm going to be concerned with. I don't know if you have any different levels, Sean, but I'd love to get a test of that price, because, I mean, it was so good off 150 yesterday, and it's a very, very similar looking setup off 210.
No, I mean, that's why we talk about AMC. I just think AMC is a little bit. I mean, GameStop's going to be better for a day trade most likely, because come on, let's go. Come on, charts. There we go. GameStop's going to be a little bit better just because of the momentum. I mean, we're already up here huge. Like 210, like you closed yesterday 195-ish. Actually, we closed even lower than that. And then now you're breaking out. I mean, there's really, you just play momentum. I mean, 210 looks obvious, but again, you just play the momentum on this thing. If it's coming crashing down and it's taking out 210, you just go short and you can give it. I mean, just by the looks here, I think you got to give each one of these breaks. Like the problem yesterday was I only gave it about 5. I think it was 158 break. We got out 150, so that was about $8 worth of room in here, and then you could see what it did after. So that's not enough. Like, I think if you're taking GameStop, you got to give it at least a $10 worth of room here, because like even this 220 break, it goes 224 and then pulls back to 221, 222. So like if you get out there, you know, for $2 or $3, then you miss that $10 run up. I don't know. It's just, I think you got to give it some space today. We're going to move 1.69 million shares. AMC is going to take out 960. I'm going to go long 960 right now. So let's see if that does come through. And if I do get the long, got to give it back at least to 930. So right now, I'm more interested in AMC taking out that 960. So we'll just see. But shit, it's still so early, man. It's only 9:09 right now. So just be careful, man. Hold your cards a little close to the chest here today, if you can, and you know, give them a little bit of room. Don't take huge shares, but I think these stocks do have another chance today to run. They're not moving on fundamentals, as we all know.
All right, guys, we'll continue along here. Palantir Technologies. Wow, we made it through 40 minutes and haven't talked about Palantir yet. Up sharply again this morning with the overall market. They came out and said double-click demo event day is coming Wednesday, April 14th, the first in a series of demo days highlighting their Foundry platform for the first one alone and then others in events to come.
I mean, you know what's interesting? I mean, I don't know. Like, actually, today, even I'm saying you should probably buy this one. The only interesting thing about Palantir is, of all of the stocks that I looked at on the day, if you look at like the recent support level, like this like 2250, it's just, I look at how big the gap is from that bottom. It's like over like a 10% gap from that bottom to like yesterday's low, and then like, you know, another buck from here. And it's not to say that it's a worse setup or anything like that, because that support level on the daily chart looks a heck of a lot better than most of the stocks we look at that got beaten up. So 2250 looks like a fantastic price. I just don't know if it's the same momentum breakout buy given the snapback that some of these other names could have. So I would sort of lend myself to, oh, if there's weakness and a pullback, Palantir has a more obvious level than some of the names we've been watching today that you could buy in the event that there's a bit of a sell. And you heard Arun mention, you know, look initially for some shorts in this recent upside in the market. So if that's going to be the case and you want to have a plan of action as to what you'd buy in a dip, I kind of have already lent myself to looking at NEO off of some of those lows. And then the same thing would probably apply to a Palantir here, at least for me.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking to see what's going on in the imbalance locator. So Dash, we talked about that off lockup. NEO with a big bid, Palantir with a big bid, CCL. Here's AMC as well. Not in that. That's not Roblox. That's tomorrow. RBLX, wherever that was. Okay. Look, you know, Palantir. I was huge on it yesterday. Even though we went down there, Palantir was my #1 stock yesterday. We were able to catch some huge bottoms. I loaded the truck up right here, man. 2330, 2330. We rode that all the way. Between Neil and I, this was the #1 stock yesterday for P&L wise. So I think it could do that again today. Let's just be patient with it. I'm going to strike with fury on this stock at some point again today. So just get ready. I'll try to call out some levels as I see them. I mean, I don't mind this 23 bottom again as well. We could go long to see if we hold that, but I mean, when we tested it yesterday was right here, and it wasn't too much of a test. It just came down, and then it broke it and went all the way to 2267 before using 23 as a top again and never really seeing that. So let's wait to see. I'll put some bids downside, low 23s. We will load up in front of 23, and then we'll get out right away if it does break, and then I'll look to see about putting on, you know, a decent sizer here if we can get down and then break back below 2279. But if we're going to look for the upside on Palantir, I mean, this 2370 looks really nice to me, where we had some resistance yesterday. Bang, bang, bang. So the triple top there, we could break that, and that's 2370. So 2370 on the upside, but it's not, I mean, I heard what Arun said, and I mean, the market has fallen off the open on big green days. So we are going to be a little bit aware of that. I will take a 2370 break. Probably I'll regret doing it, so I won't take too many shares, but just for the chance that it goes, we'll take that 2370 break. We'll also build a position below or in front of 23, get out, and then honestly, I'm never going to take my eyes off of this. And we're going to wait to see if we can't take Palantir on explosion upside. I like it because you could take thousands, hundreds, whatever you're comfortable with shares. It's only a $23 name, and it does give you those moves, right? So I like Palantir as a day trade. I think it's one of the best stocks to day trade, period.
All right, NVTA is next. Invite. We mentioned if you joined us early on this morning. Kathy Wood, I just saw somebody in the chat say Kathy Wood doesn't season her chicken. Sure. NVTA up 12.5%, guys. This was the move we were talking about yesterday, the CNBC bump. Late in the afternoon, yeah, we're up 12.5% from these levels at the close yesterday. So this is in the genome space, so think bio, nano, BNGO, kind of that group.
It's sort of interesting because I really don't. I'm baffled because I actually don't understand that reference. And if somebody explain that to me, the don't season the chicken thing, I'm old. I guess I missed some of these. It's sort of interesting watching this, and we always talk about pull up a higher time frame when you trade off of news, and I was guilty of not doing that in yesterday's action, so I ended up taking off a short way too early, not noticing this like 37 level from a couple of sessions ago. You look at it here, that 37, it spikes on the news, the initial push goes right into that price, and then it gets like the only retracement it had into 35. So you always look for things like that, and I bring that up because if you come back towards the third here, when you had a big flush and this thing broke through 42 even, tried to pull back and then found resistance right, just above this 40 mark. So 40 and a quarter. I think that's going to be like that new sort of level that it's going to have to push through NVTA. There's no ignoring the fact that even without Kathy Wood saying anything, a lot of stocks made that big bottom a couple of sessions ago when we're looking to make these pullbacks, especially whether it's in the high growth space or in the tech space in general. So NVTA was probably due for a little bit of that. I just feel like this maybe made it extend a little bit farther because she was on TV, which would mean if it rolls over from a 40, that would be an interesting short play. But I don't like the long unless we're breaking through that 40 range. Right? I need to see us break through here and then fill in this gap all the way to that 42, 43. That just seems a heck of a lot better. I want to go back over to INVO for just a quick second because it started to show some strength on me here. I was getting out, and every time I see this kind of a pattern where it looks like, you get a breakdown on INVO, a small cap name here, 580 was that break. It finally consolidates at 550, and this is after all post-market action getting to 580. That's where you get the first level, and then you look at these tops here, like 530. That's essentially where I was getting in just above that price in front of 550. And it could not break 5 even. Now, a couple of times I was able to get up 15s, but then suddenly the bottom was 25, and then the bottom was 25 again. So as it rolls up into like 575 VWAP where this little cluster is, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive taking this off and anticipating that it might not put in a fresh low on INVO. I'm not saying it feels strong, but you can certainly see the pattern in my trading. Each time I'm shorting into it on a pop, it's higher and higher and higher, and I'm getting out higher and higher and higher. That kind of tells you a bit of an upward trend there. So as much as it's going in the money right now, got to watch out for this one showing some strength.
Yeah, I haven't done too much work there on that NVTA. So, but I mean, we saw it yesterday. We talked about that. I was watching a move yesterday. I think you just buy it on any weakness. But look, I mean, here come the NASDAQ coming down right now. So, I mean, you got to watch out for these high-flying stocks. We say it all the time. So let's just wait to see what happens off the open. I don't think it's worth jumping into anything. I do have a few names that I like, but we'll go through this list. You know what? I'm going to tell you to it right now. Microsoft. So Microsoft again here. Those of you that want to trade something a little more stable, I think, Microsoft.NQ. If you ever see us do that, our charts sort of, they want you to put in NQ or NY. So Microsoft obviously on the NASDAQ. So what's up, Morgan Brennan? They put that on there, and then, sometimes it makes our charts get a little wonky. Okay, 233, I like this break. 233 here on Microsoft. So we're gonna watch out for that. 233.80, sorry, 232.80 was the top there, but I like this 233 break on Microsoft. I think it's gonna remain solid here, regardless of the NASDAQ. If the NASDAQ breaks higher, this is the name I'm gonna take, and I think we can use a lot of shares here on Microsoft. I don't think we have too much worry about the downside. I mean, if it breaks at 231.50, then fine, but we're gonna let everything settle down anyways, first thing off, and then we'll trade. But for right now, I'm looking at Microsoft. I think that's going to be my big cap trade of the day. Chicken dinner winner. What was that? I always say. They're Randy confusing me already. But yeah, shout out to everybody. Welcome to the show here. Already, I think we already had 2,000 likes. So there it is, guys. Thank you so much for that. 2.1K likes right now already. So thank you so much for everything that you guys are doing for us. We're going to try to get to that 5,000, which we're expected to get to every single day. And I think that's a reasonable expectation as, we have some of the greatest viewers of all time.
We're also trying to get to 200,000 subscribers, guys. We're approaching that 190,000 level. So if you haven't done so already and you're joining us maybe for the first time, welcome. First off, we do this every single day the market is open. Make sure you take a second and hit the subscribe button. Let's go to crypto land. Bitcoin holding 54,500 currently after that little breakout in the pre-market here this morning. There's a whole bunch in this group. NCTY, a little Chinese company, the 9 Limited, announcing they've signed an agreement to buy a whole bunch of Bitcoin mining machines. So NCTY up significantly. There's that SOS. I mean, take your pick, guys.
Here it is.
You definitely take your pick. It is, of course. MoneyGram also ending their partnership or deal with Ripple, so they're actually going to be down in the session. You mentioned Silvergate. At least I think you mentioned Silvergate, Brendan, and their offering. I've said it. I'm going to stick to this. It's just making a heck of a lot more sense to just just buy Bitcoin if you can when it comes to, in reference to a name like this. It makes more sense to me. You're getting better gains in that regard. It's showing some weakness in particular in Silvergate. And I know I've talked this one and endorsed it in the past. At these prices, it's starting to make a heck of a lot more sense to just be directly in Bitcoin. And it was a different relationship back in late last year when you're before this little cluster here in January, guys. So it is what it is. You can check any name you want. I'm going to be looking a little bit at MoneyGram today just to see if it continues to be under pressure, of course, having lost out on that partnership. And again, it hadn't moved too much in the pre-market just yet, so nothing to see there in particular. But watch the spot price. I think that's going to be the better play.
So the only thing you should really do is buy Cardano ADA right here. A nice little move up to 120 there. We'll just keep talking about that because you know what, you're going to look back in 6 months. I mean, I told you about it at 18 cents. It's now at $1.18, and that was just back in January. It was 18 cents. So I like Cardano. So it looks like Microsoft may just go without me here if it takes out 233 in the next 10 minutes. Okay. I'm telling everybody to do this. I know Brendan's been buying this. I've been buying this. And you might as well just keep buying this. BTCC.B. If you have Canadian funds here, get into the... Pardon?
1040.
Yeah, you're liking that, Brendan. I feel you. Both Brendan and I loving this action here. 1040 right now with BTCC. So yeah, I mean, get your funds in a registered account. BTCC, it's an easy way to play Bitcoin tax-free savings account if you're here in Canada. I don't know what's up with the accounts over there in the States, but this is a one-to-one basic ETF. It's the first of its kind. I absolutely love this ETF. I actually bought some at 1090. Then we bought some more downside 9. My average price now above where we're at. So, I mean, this just continues to rock and roll. Not only do I recommend buying BTCC, it's an easy way. If you don't have, you say, you know what, I don't want to open up a Coinbase account. I don't want to open up whoever you're using to buy crypto with, right? I know you can buy it on Robinhood. You can buy it here on Wealthsimple, things like that. But then it's just a different wallet. It's a different situation. You can hold BTCCB or U if it's US funds.U, BTCCU, and you can hold it as a stock. So you can get in and out, no problems. And all you're simply paying is the commission, if there is any, on your trading account. So there's Bitcoin bouncing off 55. It basically, 54,830 is just like 55. So it touches their all-time high. I still believe is 58 and change. I'll find the exact number because if we creep up to that, then watch out for Bitcoin. But right now, a beautiful little move up. And you know what? Forget about trading. You trade the stocks if you want. But if you really want a 1-to-1 ratio, man, trade this BTCC.B or .U.
58,354 is all-time highs for Bitcoin. Let's combine the next two here, guys. We'll talk about EV makers. Tesla, with February Chinese delivery numbers up enormously year over year, was 470% increase in Chinese deliveries for February. The Chinese EV makers, meanwhile, strong this morning. All three of them are said to be looking at plans for a Hong Kong listing. So all of them currently listed in the US, obviously, but they're going to be listed in Hong Kong, it looks like, as well, raising a potential $5 billion combined, guys.
Yes, sir. And everyone delivering more than XPeng, because I think they came in last when it came to deliveries. Out of the major names, that includes, of course, Li Auto. Like we've already mentioned, for any kind of strength, NIO, and ignore this, it just got in and out on a quick little scalp here, so it was one execution on NIO for me. We did talk about if there was going to be a dip, this is the place I'd like to go to for buying action. The only unfortunate thing is, 35 is going to stand out to you as a fantastic level, and if there is a pullback, I'm not even sure we're going to get there. So you also look at these pre-market lows, and that's worked in the past. The only difference is, I've noticed this, if you're looking to catch a dip buy in NIO, and you're playing off of the pre-market low, a lot of times you have to be willing to give it a little bit of room in both directions. Meaning, if it's going to bounce off of it, a lot of times it's not going to give you 36.60. You probably have to pick it up in like the 80s or 90s. And if it's going to break through it, it might actually end up holding like a 40 or 50 area. So that might lend itself to 2 trades. But that 930 type of idea, if it does initially come into some selling, I think I'd first be looking at like 36.75 to 36.80. If it starts to reverse there, I'd be trying to pick up some NEO at that price. Take it off at the pre-market low. If it breaks that, be willing to get right back in on a separate trade there at the absolute bottom. And there we go. And INVO now managing to hold that 560 area. So it's feeling a little bit better, but I want to let you guys know that it felt like it was going to test me at that 575. But 60 short, now about 20 cents in the money. I still think 525 to 520 is some resistance here in the pre-market. 5 even definitely as well.
Watch out here with eyes coming through right now, down to 1940 right now. You still have, I don't want the daily chart, you still have this 1825 or so bottom there happening around 8 a.m. Or 8:13 a.m. So watch out for eyes right now coming through. You could take out VWAP again, breaking up through 20. So there's some trades there, and I think there's also a trade through 21. So eyes through 21, there's a trade, and then there's a trade down through the bottom of 825 or so. If you do get that 18. Yeah, if you do get that break there, I think you got to give it back to at least, well, I'll see if I can zoom in here a little bit. At least, what is this top? 1960, maybe $1, 1914. You know, at least back to 19. So watch out here for an 1825 break that could come right off the open. I'll get into that short, but then I have a feeling that, you know, if they that could be a busted spot where you get short and then the thing just does this straight back to the upside. So if I do get short, I have to get ready to put in a stop order somewhere around, you know, 19 or this 1880 mark, something like that. So just watch out. And then you do have sort of this top here at 21 to look at, and then the ultimate top at 22. So just wanted to cover some eyes here as the market looks like it wants to continue to go up, and we may have just stopped out there. I'm always looking at this 12,500 level, which is a little bit lower. So we got to give that up before I really get too nervous. But it seems like the ES holding up a little bit. We've averaged. Okay, see, I switch over to Palantir. The chart's supposed to go. We averaged into Palantir here. I had to get in and out there to show it on the board because it doesn't show until I get in and out. So we get in, out, in again, and then now we're long here, 23.41. So it does dip down to 23.25. What? My bid was at 26. So I guess I just got missed. It looks like it went down to 23.26. So I just got missed on a big bid there. So hopefully we crack down again at on the open. That's Palantir. And then the other one I'm looking at right now, hopefully it doesn't. Okay, it went the other way. Microsoft, still looking at that 233 break that I like.
All right, guys, yeah, eyes back on the list this morning. Here's another little one, bottom end of the list, ANPC, 70%. On they have a cancer detection system that they've revamped a little bit to make it more efficient and cheaper as well, which is good news for them. 1050 ending up being support here. Was a bit of congestion early on this morning. Needs to stay above 10 to 1020 if it's going to go higher, but below that, it looks like it's rejecting right now. You can see big volume coming in as well. If it's below 10, 1020, might give you an opportunity to the downside for ANPC.
And just to check back in on that Stitch Fix, it looks like it's made a bit of a top here. And again, the pre-market volume is still relatively low. It's only done a couple of 100,000 shares here, so it's very thinly traded. That's why it does certainly pretend itself to allowing the open to happen before getting into this name. But 55 looks like the top end on Stitch Fix, so 54.65. I can sort of throw that price out the window. It's going to be one that doesn't matter necessarily off of that open. Buying in front of a 51.50 makes sense. And of course, that 50 bottom from yesterday is going to be a big one as well. There's a wealth of names to get to, and I know I just want to check back in on Zoom because there's your 25, almost into now 330. That's still room to that 340 price its resistance. Wow, just literally right here, it just spiked through 330. But again, that was very, very light volume and just a small smattering of prints there. So even if you try to catch a 330 break there, you're paying way up on that one. Want to wait till the open on Zoom for sure.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to wait for some of these names. I think Rocket, again, 438,000. A nice little move up here for Rocket companies. I like this 26 area that we held yesterday. Again, just because it's an even dollar, it makes the trade easy. We'll see about taking that. We will take that as NASDAQ booming right now, taking out the day's high as we get close to the open. What what time is it? 9:28, guys. Hit that like, hit that share, and hit that subscribe. We're trying to get to 200,000 subscribers. We got to 100 pretty easily. We've been less than a year doing this, guys. So thank you for all the support. Some of you have been here the full time. So we're going to watch out for Rocket. We've got Palantir on watch. We've got Stitch Fix on watch to break that 53 to the downside. And then I want to look at CCL quickly here as well. Oh, wow. Less than a minute to go right now. CCL 2750, a decent area to take out as well. So there's lots happening. I like Mr. Softy, though, through 233. Wow. What a big, I mean, I don't know, man. That was just at 231. Wow, we just went to 233 right there instantly. I don't know if I want to take these on break, though. So let's wait to see. Wow, NASDAQ, you're going off already. Okay, let's get ready, guys. AMC as well, top break. There's lots happening. There goes Stitch Fix. We take out the bottom of Stitch Fix there. 53 short right now. Let's see where we go.
Yeah, and NEO broke the top, and Tesla just busted through that 607 top. Now, remember, with Tesla, there was that 600 to 608 level. So there was some chop in this price range you're going to want to concern yourself with. And you saw him bring the coffee to us. I'm pretty sure he's on the countdown because Miss V's next to me. So Randy dropping the bell today, which means he'll probably do something crazy. This market's about to open. 4, 3, 2, and 1.
And
one
we're
would
off.
think he'd
Okay.
run out of ways, interesting things to do with the bell, but he never does.
So let's watch here, guys. Stitch Fix right now, instantly printing us 50 cents, but we need to get lower than that. It's a nice little dollar win right now on Stitch Fix, trying to break through 52. Let's just see. You got a big little spread there, big little spread. Let's wait to see. Come on, get through 52, baby. We talked about going short on Stitch Fix. What a horrible number that was. Let's wait to see if we can get some out. Here it is, $1 plus on the money right now. As Eyes, like I said, takes out that bottom, but watch out now. Let's see how far this one can go to the downside. Eyes and Stitch Fix right now, blasting off, guys.
And here comes that 325 on Zoom. Now, this is why we didn't want to take that break on ZM. We'll wait patiently for that to get long in front of that 325er. We also like that 320 as well. But Zoom coming back in, and there goes NEO trying to take the top off again. 3760. Looks like it just rejected off of that. And if it pulls back in, you know we want the dip buy in NIO.
Oh my God, we are huge right now, guys. Eyes, man, we did it on Eyes. Bang on Eyes, a big time winner right there. $1 in the money on Eyes. I see you. Here goes Stitch Fix as well. Down to down to $51, another $2 winner. So Eyes banging it out right now. Stitch Fix banging it out right now. The winners are 2 times daily goal. We're walking on water. You guys said it's almost bang time. And hey, it didn't take long to get that big number.
So I just reversed on INVO, guys, so I quickly had to get my scalp trade out there. And again, I talk about executing first and working out the plan later. There's no way to get rid of that 10, guys, for you.
Let's go.
But quick reversal on INVO, getting in and then getting out in front of that 585 range. It's going to fail on that break, so you're going to see me with 10% left. I'm just going to take the rest out and then look back into the short because that's a fail break through 85, at least for now. 85 is a new level on INVO. Told you there was some support at 520. That was the bottom again.
Guys, man, we're monstrous, man. There goes Palantir upside as well. Bang, a big win for us on Palantir as that continues to go up. We don't have any ideas on the upside there because we already have our position right now. Eyes, though, man, I mean, we're out of Eyes, right? And so there it is. We go long now through. Wow, Eyes going to go upside now? Okay. We're making money on the upside and the downside right now on Eyes. So big little trade. I keep saying that. Big little trade. Doesn't even make any sense. There it goes.
20
bang, long
on
through 19 right now on Eyes. A 70-cent win up. $1 win down, 70 cents win on the upside, and then Stitch Fix also a $1.25 winner. Neil, bring them the heat, baby.
I already got that Zoom. It's bouncing back to 330. Now, remember, 330 was a bit of a level on that, so I want to make sure I get a little bit out. I do have to come back to another thing for you guys at QuantumScape. 50 was going to be the break for me on QuantumScape. It tried to go to 49.85. Wanted to wait till after the open. The order's going in now to take that one through the upside. So for now, it's just Zoom. I took off INVO too quickly. That reversal continuing to bounce to the upside. Man,
are we huge, man? And we got that question yesterday, and I told you, Neil might short everything. Welcome to the short club, guys. I don't care which way this goes. Look at this, 52. We talked about Stitch Fix. They miss. And so look at this, man. This is a big position for me. 52.80. I didn't expect to get it in the pre-market. We got it just as it opens up. $53 short. Out. And now we'll wait to see if 50 breaks, man. Big time trading on that one. $2.50 in the money. Man, swing both ways with me. Eyes up to 18.90. We'll get out a little bit right now. We're already out. Let's just let Eyes calm down here as it's just moving like crazy right now. EYES, man, big time trade alert.
And let's not forget about GameStop. We did talk about that 210. For now, it's only a failed break. And this is what we sort of talked about. Does it break that 210 the same way that it broke that 150 and then psych everyone out? That's what I was sort of waiting to see happen. So I'm trying to pick this one up on the way back in, giving it to that low of the day. This move, when it did this yesterday, and I'm only going to chase it so far, guys. So I'm going to give it to like 212. If I can't get like a 212 price, you almost have to walk away from this. But this is exactly what it did in yesterday's action, where it gave you one shot when that 150 broke, and then it was a long after there. I just tried the same thing. This was the play we sort of gave to you, that time frame, but I didn't want to chase it too far, so I'm going to sit at 212, and if I can't get it, I can't get it.
All right, and I mean, here we go, man. Stitch Fix just see down to $50 again. So we'll hold that for a little bit. Maybe we'll get out at 50. It touched 50 and then stop. So we'll get out another little piece here at 50, and then we'll wait for the bottom, man. I got a low bid on that one as well. Palantir falls down, and again, we're waiting at 26, and we don't get hit. So a nice little out there quickly for 20 cents. Now we'll see what Palantir does to the upside. And here comes Microsoft, hopefully, as the market ripping to the upside right now. Let's just take out some Stitch Fix and hold a little piece.
That's like, it's absolutely sickening. That's the playbook right there. You got that 210 break. This is me sitting at 212. You saw me actively trying to get the shares and not chasing GameStop. It's now all the way at 220. So look, if you miss along, you miss along. Your hands off the keyboard. I'm not going to be chasing this too far. That's a good way to get yourself into trouble. Going to go to Brendan and come back in a second because that AMC could be worth a play as well.
Initial mover here, XPEV. Guys, we mentioned some of the Chinese names busy or active in the pre-market here. Straight downside, though, through 29 there on a big volume spike. Still positive, though, for XPEV, guys.
The XPEV Neo, yeah, I haven't looked there yet. I mean,
Neo's
look at that.
not moving.
We just take that out on this. I mean, this Stitch Fix, man, the shorts are in, and your bull is here, guys. Taking that to the downside right now on Stitch Fix, my biggest trade there. And then Eyes was a monster short, and then a monster long, so back and forth. We did give some up on that move because we don't have it clean both ways. But I mean, we've cashed out Eyes just as much profit right now as Stitch Fix. So 3 for 3 right now, guys. We'll just look for some more.
INVO pre-market high is like 650 to 660. It just dipped into that. Now, I talked about getting out of that reverse long too early, but if I had a bit of a short bias on it, of course, it usually means I'm scalping that long. If it breaks 660, I just got in at 45s here. I'm going to get out. I'll wait for that high of day before I short the stock. Already starting to come in here. I'll take some out for like 10 and then 20, 30 cents, all the way down to that 585, which was that key level of working. So it's just that to the short side. Zoom is still sort of hanging around that 25. The 325 to 330 area. And as long as it wants to be there, you're going to see me hang on to my long position. I think it needs to break 330 definitively. And Neo is literally doing nothing. It's finally testing lower. Maybe actually get a shot at 37 or below 37 for a long. Okay,
guys, so here it is again. This is just what's happening right now, guys. Just throw that around here. Look at Palantir. Let's see how high we can get. If we can get to 2380, that'd be a little good move there, and we'll look to get out. That's the high of the day. We'll wait to see. It's not like we're flying through that much money there on Palantir. It needs to go. Microsoft, again, tested the high again at 233. I mean, maybe it doesn't want to go. I mean, the NASDAQ right there gave us what we needed there, and Microsoft does not give us that high break. But here it comes right now, looking to break. We'll go long. It'll be a big position through 233. Let's just hope it works out for us. If the NASDAQ can give it to us. Give it to us, Brendan.
We saw XPEV coming to the downside. Some of the Chinese, specifically the Chinese EV makers, a little weak initially. Here's one that's not. Solo, guys, another EV name, straight higher off the open here. This is a relative volume type of idea. Big time volume so far for Solo, guys.
So halt alert on INVO. I got a little bit out. You saw me take like 10 cents of a scalp. Get out of the rest of it because, look, I'm not going to hold through a halt, but I'm also not going to hold on a break of a high of day. So you're going to get 5 minutes or so, so it'll be like 9:42. We should open back in. If it opens higher, I'm going to be essentially ignoring it. I want to play off of any kind of downward action on a halt. It looks entirely too strong that will be the case. So very likely I won't have a position. Zoom is now testing that 330. But because my original entry point, I really like that 325. I'm sort of sitting right here like, if it breaks back down to 325 and then we like that 320 for support, why would I not give myself a shot to get back into this trade, into the long side and scalp some out? So that's what I went ahead and did. I took the $2 in front of 330. There was a bit of a failed break through that price, so ignoring that price action would be completely reckless on my part, especially when we can be flexible. So if we get a dip in Zoom, I want to see if we can hold 325. If it bounced off that, I would get more shares in. If it bounces off 320, I would get more in at that level as well, but only catching it after any kind of a bounce. I did say I would check in on AMC. So GameStop did bounce and went to the upside there. AMC actually holding the lows, looking like not as strong.
Yeah, I was looking at GameStop and AMC as well. We're still waiting for this Microsoft to go. Let's see what Facebook's doing. 261, not bad. Same kind of a break looking to happen there. I still prefer Microsoft for that one. What else did I want to look at? Oh, yeah, Rocket companies. Let's have a quick look there. I hope everyone's okay over there. I never know with Randy around. Rocket companies up to $25 now and fades that out. We were waiting for a 26 break. It doesn't look like these stocks want to do that today. So, again, we'll wait on that one. Maybe 25.50. Can be a breakout spot there for Zoom, or for Rocket companies. We'll wait to see if that's going to be the case. But right now, not doing much except for going to the downside. And then AMC as well. Oh, okay. AMC still has that 960. I like a 960 break on AMC, guys.
And going to go back to that NVTA. Of course, we talked about the Cathie Wood stock getting a bit. Cathie Woodstock. That's not what I meant. Either way, getting a bit of a push down now into aftermarket highs, which is also pre-market low at 37.50. It's held one time. Unfortunately, I mean, the market's going up. If it were coming back in, I would like this double, but if 37.50 breaks, I'd look for the sort of gap fill type of idea. If the market's turning, I would definitely up the order, but with the NASDAQ headed to the upside, you can't like it quite as much, but 37.50 would be a breakdown for me on NVTA.
What's up, B?
Brennan?
A little bit of caution, I think, yeah, definitely required here, guys. Seeing a few of these big high-flying tech names starting to turn around a little bit. NVIDIA still up 5.3%, but volume alert there at the top end on the sell side. Tesla as well starting to turn southbound, guys.
Yeah, I got to watch out for that. I mean, here comes AMC right now going off, back upside 950, 953. We could check out GameStop as well, just to see 220, 221. So it does hold that 210 level that we talked about. And AMC doing the same thing, man, having a dance around 950. Yep. So I don't know if this wants to break or not. I don't have that crystal ball, but if it does, I like a 960 break as we keep talking about that one. NEO still up, but down, it looks like. 37, yeah, 37. We'll see if that can hold. That may be a good spot here, guys. For NEO to hold through $37.
And that NVTA very, very close to breaking here. Still waiting for the reopen of INVO. I've tightened my stop with the market. Some of the tech names starting to pull back and the ES starting to pull back a little bit. I'll get out of Zoom if it breaks that 325, which it just did, and then look for the next play to be a short in that NVTA if it takes out the bottom. It has to break the bottom, otherwise I don't like it. Checking back in on GameStop. It's still sort of holding the high end of the range. This is why I was a little surprised AMC couldn't get itself going. But this was a failed break through 230. So I think this is going to set up that if we can hold maybe above this 215 area halfway, 200, 215, 230, maybe we get another run at that 230 a little bit later on. But it's either that or 210, and 210 such a key level. If it breaks that price at any point today and then sustains an offer below it, you could see GameStop on a reversal. For now, it's definitely very strong.
Okay, so yeah, the market pulling back down in right now, and this is what we have. We have Palantir. So we talked about waiting for this name, so we did wait for it. Now we're long 26. We're going to take another long, hopefully right here, get filled. I think it's 11 is my bid. We just got missed there. What a surprise. It goes down to 12s, or goes down to 12s, yeah. We're bidding 11s now. I don't know why. Just picked a random number ahead of 10. So here we go. So we should get long rate. Nope. We should get long right here. Nope. At 11. Nope. If we can, we'll get long at 11. And nope, we cannot. Damn it! That was pretty close, man. We almost had a nice little bagger there if we got hit. I don't know why we're at 11. Let's adjust that as now going back to the upside. 23, 26. Man, why didn't I just market that in lazy? I thought I was going to get those 11s. Like, came down to 12. Let's put a bid now at 13 or something and see if we get that a little more aggressively.
INV opens higher, so I mean, it looks like it's still bullish there. And again, maybe I should take some of these to the long side. I was looking at NEO for that dip buy. It finally actually makes a test of the pre-market low. Like I said, allow it to break it. It does break, bounces back to the upside above. I got 72s off of this low here, 36.50. So if we break that price, we'll look for a deeper retracement possibly. Now the market is coming in. That's why a relatively tight stop while all this settles down here. But NEO was the one I wanted to dip by, so I waited for it to make that bigger dip before getting into it. I said I would check in on MoneyGram. Rebound for them. So it looks like they're showing some strength, but the volume is absolutely piss. Only like 500,000 shares, unfortunately.
All right. Okay, so some of the banks, damn it. I hope I didn't miss that rotation there. Okay, JP Morgan's still holding up. I do want to get out. We did talk about rotating out, and maybe it's not right, but JP Morgan got up to 155. I was going to sell some JPM and get into something a little more growth related at that top 155 and change. But here we go, man. Palantir, we got those bids. So let's wait to see now. We changed it up to 13. We put some 21s, and then we put some 13s. So we did do a little bit of a change there. So now we're going to the upside. 23.22 is our long here. If the market goes, we should have a good one here, but still needs to get going though, and it's not quite yet. So let's hope this market comes back upside. I think we have Palantir right now on a good spot, Brendo.
All right, we tried to hold there on Stitch Fix to the downside. We were kind of climbing higher going into the open, but 53 ends up being resistance there for Stitch Fix, guys. Still pushing towards the low of the days.
I mean, Stitch Fix was already hammered by me there. So we did get out on that 53 break, our last like 2%, but what a great trade that was to the downside. Wish we would have had more shares, but still a great trade. My number one stock. Thank you, Brendo.
This touched the lows that NVTA got into that one, and the NIO first target hit sort of in front of that 37 on that 72 long. If we get back to VWAP, we'll be very pleased with that. We'll take some more shares off. But INVO, another halt, so limit up again. Actually, whoa, wait a minute. That doesn't look like it's a limit up halt. What am I doing here, guys? Hey, limit halt up again. It's going to be the same plan for me as I mentioned before. I want to see it open below that 778, and it should be like in 3 minutes or so. If it opens below 780, I try to take a short off of that level and then work it down to like a 7 even. It's a very specific entry price. Otherwise, NEO has found again some resistance, and this is just above that 37 or below that 37 mark. If that can get through 37, I'd only be holding about a quarter of the position to make sure that we can get some of a scalp out in front of this little bottom pick that we have. And MBTA, basically flat on the session. Next trade likely to be INVO on the reopen.
I mean, guys, and here it is, man. Again, like, let's just go. Let's go right now, because look at Palantir. A big trade again, man. We adjusted our stop. It actually, we would have got 11s, I guess, but we take 13s and then out 40s, 40s, 40s right there. Somehow at VWAP, a big trade alert for me on that one, guys. There's no doubt about that. And then AMC through the top now. Let's get some 64s there. Some nice, it didn't go, so we did get out a little bit there. It broke down below here. I don't know what happened. My out was going to be 48. We got some 55s there. That's fine. We're still going to hold AMC and see if that rips to the high side. We're still positive on AMC, and we're hella positive on Palantir now off of a beautiful rebound. I actually thought I got into Microsoft, but instead we got into AMC. So let's see if that one can moon. But hey, you talked about it early, Neil, and I'm bringing it right now. There's some chicken dinners for everybody. Hopefully you guys are fed well, because we're 5 for 5 today, Neil. We're hitting the home runs for these guys.
Yeah, NVTA is going to be my first loss of the session. Try to short that one to the bottom. It does not go. NIO just broke 37, so I'm going to be getting out of some of that. We talked about Dash a little bit, but I want to let you guys know this is flat on the session. Dash has a chance if it does a further rollover. Watch for a 128 break through that bottom at some point. But it's got to be NEO over here. We'll give this one the arrows up. We look for the dip buy. That's exactly what it's doing here. Let it break that pre-market low. Get in when it retraces. I will take some out. Like I said, when it broke 37, I take more profits. So I just took 40 cents there for another leg. If I can get some in like the 25 to 30 range, 37, 25, I'll do that as well. And then try to hold for a push to the 38 high. 38 even could be its own break on NIO. Brennan, Neil.
Just checking Bitcoin, guys. Day highs. Yeah, looks like we got above 54,480 was the last little push there. Riot just popping up here on volume to $48. So a big move this morning. Even there, 44.69 up to 48 for Riot, guys.
Yeah, I mean, everything's bouncing, man, and we're huge today already. And like I said, man, hot dogs for everybody. Let me know what meme you guys want or what thing you want me to throw up here, because today it's just been a big monster day. We talked about buying Palantir. Look at these outs, man. Bang, bang. I mean, again, we talked about if it takes out the top, we may try that, but we don't even care because it does exactly the move that we thought it would, and then we cash in on Palantir. Big trade there, needless to say. And then AMC does get out, man. We get some out at 975 to the upside. I love trading around those quarters. Nothing really on that upside move, so watch out. We will hold the rest of this. I don't really have a downside move, maybe 925. I don't care. We're going to see about holding it, and then we'll just get out some more Palantirs. We have some offers out in the 40s again. So yeah, big time mover to the upside. And yeah, we're done already. So spin this, guys. We'll be back with some more trades. But hey, if you just have these ones today, then you're done. I told you we switched up our mentality a little bit, taking the best trades we can find and hitting them hard. That's what I'm all about. Let's go.
Yeah, I just got some more NEO out. That's going to head towards that high of day. We'll be all over it. The next trade for me is going to be that INVO. It would have opened up, I think, if it was a 5-minute halt a couple of seconds ago. So it could be a 10-minute circuit breaker. That's very, very likely the case here, but I'm seeing it now like 6 minutes since the halt price. So we're probably waiting another 4 minutes on that. So I can quickly go back over to NIO. We said this is a name that we'd play. I'm sure I could probably go pull up a chart of XPeng as well, and maybe you see a similar bounce. but it was going to be NEO. We talked about the reasons why. It's just a better day trade here. And then the setup was going to be waiting for that little dip. You could have had the break. And yes, 37.60 actually, if you took this one off the open, did give you into 38. So maybe you scalped it that way. I just always preferred that bottom pick. I have like 20% left, like I said I would, to hold to the high of day. That'll be 38 even, where we can make possibly another trade on NIO. Brendan?
We're talking about the lockup expiration on Dash, guys. You can see the opening print here, just absolutely enormous for DoorDash, but nothing but higher ever since then. We're now up 2%, coming up to 138 here for DoorDash, guys.
Okay, so I'm into NEO now. Just going to see what it does here around this VWAP. I mean, I don't want to miss the party here. We'll get out if it breaks back down below 37, but we're in it right now, and we're in it hopefully pretty strong. Okay, Palantir, man, still ripping and rocking. I mean, my net is just right now, it's through the roof right now. So it's hot dogs party for everybody as Palantir back up to 45. We're loving that. We just took out some more AMC, and this is why the net just rips up, man. We took some out at 72. Now we're up to 76. So all things groovy right now as we continue to go. Hit the like if you're joining us for the first time. Let's do this, man. Over near 11,000 and only 3 point, can't see that, can you? Over 3.1 right now on the like. So let's see if you guys can't get that going. Please hit the like button. Valeria's in her green and the NASDAQ taking out highs right now. So this should be a good day to hit the likes. As there goes Palantir. Let's not sleep on this again. It's back above 50. Let's get some more out on Palantir for yet again, guys, another monster win here. Really loving the way this market is turning out today, guys.
Yeah, it's a fantastic market. You look for some of these bounce plays. I'll watch out because, I mean, there's traditional names like an NVIDIA, which I just saw looks interesting to me. We'll get back to that in a second because QuantumScape bouncing down, and it's not all ships rising here. That still pertains to like a 50 break if you can catch it, but not just yet. NIO, though, on the other hand, looks like it's running into some trouble around 37.30. I won't let it break down below 37. I'll probably get the rest out and look for another re-entry on that particular name. But QuantumScape, because of the retracement this deep, it broke the pre-market low. That takes out me taking the top break. So I have to cancel my order. I'm not going to go long through a top break. That's one of my rules. Once it shows that level of weakness, I reevaluate it. So no more QuantumScape. We'll have to work with some other names, and one of them, if you talk about opportunities to buy in some dips, you're still actually catching an NVIDIA below 500 here. If it even sniffs and retests, and we're still heading up in the NASDAQ, this is 485, 42 to 485 area. That looks like it's going to be good for a pickup. For now, Neil's in the money 50 cents, and really, I'm just waiting for INVO to open up, which now should be about 1 minute.
All right, so Palantir giving us another opportunity maybe to buy in again, but look at the market now coming off a little bit here. We're going to get out of our NEO. There it is. So again, you know, too many shares to hold. Not going to hold this one back through. So we do take that 35-cent hit there on NEO and put one negative stock in the blotter. Oh, well. Now let's just wait to see what it does there at that 37 level. Where was that bouncing spot? 37.12. So yeah, okay. It does test it, and then we get out, and now it's going back to the high side. I think we maybe should try that one more time there on that name, and we'll see about NEO. Wow. Damn it. We get out right at the very bottom. Again, probably not going to see a worse out than that today, but I'm glad to have made it because, you know, I'm not glad to have made it, but I should have gone re-long there once I realized that that 37 held. But wow, AMC, okay, you know, not so sad anymore. AMC with a nice little move to the upside here, continues to go, man. Beautiful, 87s. We're long through that 60 break. Let's get another piece out, but wow, this day is going great. Too bad NEO screwed us there, but wow, big time moves to the upside there. Get some more out on AMC, guys. Wow.
I mean, NEO did hold that 37, but if you look at this top here, the lower high that it put in 37.75, that's turning into a bit of resistance. So, I mean, it's going to be a little bit of greed to not just take the rest of this trade off. I've already seen it retrace once, so I'm just going to take it all out here at this point. We can celebrate a little bit later on NIO. Last time it held nicely at 37, so if it dips down, that could be worth a dip buy. INVO opens up again, so it looks like it's still in upward halts. It's in an upward trend, trying to break through maybe $10 next. I mean, the stock is getting absolutely out of hand. It is now successive halts. It probably can't stay open on a 10 break, and as long as it's going to do this, open halt after 1 minute or two, which it's about to. Here we go. Looking like it's about to do another halt here, guys. So you can see the bid loading up. Cannot print below it. It's actually halting to the downside, which means I want in after this reopen. until it starts to make either a down halt or a consolidation that can last longer than like 1 minute of trading, you got to stay away from an INVO unless you had those sort of stones for this type of action. I wait for the down halt. I wait for it to level off a little bit, just a bit of a safer play. Brendan?
Real quick, guys, ears. Another one, Oris Medical. We mentioned this the first day that eye stock started rallying. So again, ears back to the upside, 32% here, just popping up again on volume, guys.
I put the wrong, damn it. Ah, shit. I put the wrong thing in there for Microsoft. I had the wrong, I carried the zero. I wound up putting $2,000 there, break. So we should have gone, I was wondering, like, how am I not long Microsoft right here at 233? Damn it, this would have been a monster trade for me, guys. But we missed the complete monster, but we have a little bit now. Bang! We'll get out right there, but I feel sick to my stomach because we would be up infinitely more if we just had that Microsoft when we wanted it to, and I just didn't double check my order there. We meant to get that 233 break. You guys know that. I know that. So whatever. As long as you know that, I guess doesn't matter. So here we go, Microsoft to the upside. I hope you guys have this with me. Damn it, I'm light. I don't have enough shares of the...
Guys, GME is on fire today, trading on a high volume. For me, GME is the stock of the day. Do you consider trading it today?
I mean, I'm just busy destroying AMC right now, so I'll throw it back to Neil for GameStop.
Quickly, before I get to GameStop, I got to throw Zoom here. 327 was our original entry point in front of this level here. Looks like it's getting a bit of a bounce with the market heading up, so I'm going to look for Zoom through 327 one more time. Look, when it comes to Zoom, we sort of talked about this one a little bit earlier. I'll come back. We got to go to Brendan for a second.
Velodyne, guys, just seeing some of these LiDAR companies popping up on volume here, not seeing anything as far as news to consider, but day highs here for VLDR. Even these are up 8%, guys.
Guys, look at Softy now, 50 cents in the money. And look, this is something that I do that I don't know if anybody else will do this. Look at this Softy, 233, multiple stars. Like the biggest trade you could have had there. 233 on Softy, it's right there. It's my #1 hitter. And look where we're at right now. 80 cents now in the money on that Softy trade. So it's hot dogs for everybody. If you are listening to me, there's your one trade. You have it, hopefully. I have a little piece. I wish I had more, but we did take out 233.25, and now we ripped to the high side there. An 80-cent winner for all y'all, guys.
Neo just broke that 38. Got the breakout trade now. It looks like it didn't really even go any further than 38.15. So, look, obviously the bottom pick was going to be the better one, but I said it's a separate look through 38 even. You don't want to give back the entire day. So if it cannot hold, and again, this was at 37.75, a little bit of dip. I like resistance to turn into support. So if it does not, I would have gotten out, but it's headed upside. I just got some at 38.11, so we'll take a quick little 10-cent win there. We promised we would get to GameStop, so I will come back into this. There was one play I had. We talked about this with NIO, allow it to break the pre-market low, fail break, get the long. I did it on NIO. You guys saw that one there. But unfortunately on GameStop, and it was with you live, I was sitting there trying to get some 212s here when that did the fail break through 210. So you can have that game plan. And this is why NIO was such a good stock, because liquidity is so much better. And we talked about this with Sam yesterday, Sam, the legend trader. You trade the stocks with liquidity, it's easier to get those executions and make the plays that you want. Same setup on GameStop, it was much more difficult to get the shares without chasing.
Bang!
Another big mover here, guys. XELA awarded a big cloud-based contract today, $90 million contract. In fact, just cleared that high on the daily chart. That's 52-week highs for XELA.
Guys, all right. What a day. I mean, I just hope you guys are hitting this up. We're 3 times daily goal right now. It's been a monster day. We just follow our rules, man. We follow the sticky note. And we just continue to demolish things right now. So, Microsoft was the big trade for me, and we'll just look for more. But here we go. Palantir again, man, back to days high. Like, bang, 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 bang. Like, these are the buys down here. I did this yesterday. And then Palantir, #1 stock on the board. Looks like it's going to be the #1 stock P&L-wise again on the board today. So, good job. Yeah, nothing. So right now it's Palantir for the win, guys, and straight to the moon right now. So let's get out a little bit more as we bounce around this 50 area. NASDAQ with a 3. Brendan, remember I said Nasdaq's going to go up 4%? I actually thought that was maybe a little bit of a joke when I mentioned it, but now we're up 3.2%. Those AMD buys and those Square buys now looking a little bit better after one day. So let's wait to see how far we can go up, but we're loving life right now. All is good over here in day trading land when the market goes up, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be for sure. Just got back into Zoom, and of course, NIO still trying to go. I got second target as well at 15. If it gets to 25, I'll get some more shares out there, but we're still in the upward halt swing about to open up in a few seconds at INVO. First signs of a downward halt, I'm jumping into a short trade off of that previous high, and we're looking at 953 currently. So NIO just continues to be a fantastic one, whether you got the long off the bottom or the breakout trade. And then Zoom, we look to hold that one through a 330, which last time it ran into some trouble at 330. And it feels like, once again, we're probably looking at a 10-minute halt on INVO, which makes total sense because holding an extra 5 minutes clearly is making all the difference here in terms of getting an orderly reopen. So, yeah, figure it out. NASDAQ, these stocks can get a little bit crazy. Allow it to trade, I feel, at times. Here comes that Zoom. It has to break this level right here. Now, when we got the long the first time off the open, it managed to break through that top. We took shares out, 2/3 of our position out, and then had to take the hit on the rest. We take the same break when the market looks like it's even stronger this time. So this is why I want to see if I can hold through 330 into the 332 high, take it out in front of that, and then hold the rest through the top. NEO's at 38.30. So I don't know. I guess we're no longer riding its tail. A lot of times you'll see me ride that bear, and it's a little bit weird, but it's literally the opposite today. It's the longs that have been working for me. I'm going to stick with whatever is working, and obviously that's the bull market that we have in the tech space, and of course the EVs pushing as well.
Yeah, I can't believe. I mean, like I had NEO right there, and then got out there thinking it was going to break 37, and it didn't. So yeah, that's a great move, and normally we have that. So good call for NEO there. We're absolutely. I mean, I'm at 0 LFT. The only loss was that NEO loss, and it's like dwarfed compared to everything else that we've done here today, including this AMC 960 long. I mean, you know, that's what we're doing there. The eyes, you know, we go bullish, bearish on eyes right away. My initial position still could have been held really 18.22 short. That was cash money. Thanks for the respect on that one as well, guys. Microsoft, bang to the upside. We're basically out of Microsoft, 5% left. That dollar, we'll take that all day long. Palantir, I mean, let's just backflip on Palantir today, how good that's been. And then my number one stock, Palantir is going to overtake it, but Stitch Fix, man, if that wasn't, I mean, that was so beautiful down to the downside. It just resisted some 50s. We still should be short, but we got over our last 10% right there. But Stitch Fix, man, with the monster. Those are the two biggest stocks today on the floor here, I think. Anyways, Palantir and Stitch Fix. What's up, Brendo?
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets here. You can see we are nicely positive right across the board. The S&P 1.4% to the upside. The Dow 0.4. You can see, yeah, what a day. NASDAQ here, both 3.3 and 3.1% to the upside for the composite and the 100. So huge moves. Trying to bounce finally 1.3% as well for the Russell. Here in Toronto, the TSX 0.6% to the upside. If you're down in Brazil, you're looking at a negative day, just slightly though, 0.15%. A couple things from the watch list we talked about. Zoom still, yeah, holding these gains at this point. 320 was support in the pre-market, ends up holding here on that last pushback to the downside. So Zoom trying to get back higher as well on the day. I'll show you one more here. Tesla as well. Day highs, just as I was walking up here, got that alert. Day highs above 613 and change, I think it was. So big volume behind Tesla trying to bounce back as well. Guys, back to you.
So just another leg. And again, for me, it's going to be a little bit of a, I don't know, whatever the heck this thing is. We'll go with it on NIO because it's still skating to the upside. That's more like a reverse moonwalk or a front moonwalk or something like that. But 38.50 just broke. And we talk about the quarters and we talk about those evens as well, the 50s and the evens. So I don't know where the top is going to be on NIO. I'm trying to hold on to at least some of it. You can see we're not filling this entire gap. But if you go to yesterday's high, 39.50, you go into the day before that, fail break through 39.50 off of the open. I'll be flat through 39.50 is sort of what I'm getting at here. If we do push that far, I'm catching $1.50 on the last of these shares. I'll be very, very happy with that. So I'll take some in front of 39 and the rest in front of 39.50 if that's where NEO is in fact heading. It's still an unbelievable run here, seeing the NASDAQ run, but I can tell you my Zoom position's still flat. So NIO running, Zoom not nearly the retracement that I was expecting here. Somehow still managed to be up on the stock despite the relative weakness that it's not really weak because it's up 5%, but I'd say relative weakness because everything else pushing highs that I'm looking at my board, and Zoom not. Opening up in 1 minute or less than a minute is going to be that INVO. Still waiting for that to show any sign of slowing down. Has not yet, but at some point it will.
Here we come. Bang! Yeah, the big wins are here, guys. 23.75, it came in. So really happy with the way this Palantir is ripping. We did this yesterday, and we're doing it again. Highest spot of the day. We still have some shares on, so you're seeing Palantir now taking off, man. Good job for Palantir. That's a nice little 70-cent win there. And a $1+ win right now on Softy. It's over 234. Our long was 233. Again, thanks for the love on Twitter. We just did post that. You can follow me. I'll put my... there you go. I'll put my thing there for you. You can follow us all on Twitter. 234.30 right now, a big win. Hey, look, if you only took this trade, then you're laughing today as well. So a big trade there on Microsoft for sure. a buck 10 now in the money on Microsoft. Palantir at day's high as well. 70, 80 cents in the money and keeps on going. And remember I talked about Peloton probably getting going now with some of these names coming back in. Look at Peloton. 113 now for Peloton, all the way back up. So I'm going to get excited on this name as we break through 120 at some point. And then my Twilio right now as well. Glad we didn't dump that one the other day on some weakness. Twilio, we're still far away from 450, which is its all-time high. Again, let's go. Twilio up again, another 12%, Brendo. A big one. What you got for us?
2 days in a row, guys. All-time highs for the Dow. Intraday, all-time highs right now for the Dow. DKS. Dick's Sporting, we talked about it right at the end of the show yesterday. Earnings not good this morning, just breaking to the downside here. Overall market really strong, but weakness in DKS, guys.
You'll hear me groan because this is looking like it's a potential downward halt on INVO. This is the move I was trying to chase here. It broke this 10, and you'll see it in the stacked up offer. It couldn't go any lower. At that point, you can't get a short unless you're just sitting there praying to catch the offer. It looks like this one is finally going to be reversing. It does give me an opportunity on this reopen to be a little more aggressive, and if it opens anywhere around this 9 even range, use that 950 as a bit of an out. I can tell you that finally, Zoom is back to 330. So it's put up or shut up time for Zoom. I can be happy that NIO is approaching that 39. So next target is 10 cents away in front of 39 even. But Zoom needs to break. And if Zoom breaks here, we'll get some out. We'll take the $5 on the first half of the trade and try to hold through the top. The NASDAQ is still pushing highs up 3.5%, 12.75 on the NASDAQ here. So very, very strong. You only see me in a couple of long positions. If I get a short, it's very likely to be that INVO, although that stock doesn't want to let me in, guys. I am going to also come back to, if I can, where are you? We talked about Snapchat a little bit earlier. No, we're not ready for that just yet, Randy, and I'm not going to say it on air. But if Snapchat does give you any kind of consolidation around 55.50, trying to pull back to pre-market levels, I like this one as well. But there were too many names. We said you just got to narrow down your list a little bit today. That's why you want to be focused when there's so many opportunities abound. We're ready for Brendan, I do believe, Randy.
I mentioned this one on the crypto front, guys. A little bit of news on NCTY, the 9 Limited, buying some Bitcoin mining machines. 47 up to 49 there on that last little push on big volume. NCTY.
Good. Yeah, we like that NCTY move. They're buying more rigs. I don't know. Like I've already said it, man, get into BTCC.B here in Toronto if you really did want something Bitcoin related. Bitcoin hasn't moved since we've opened, but this is the best one. If you just want something tied to it, I don't know if that's what you guys are looking for, but if you are, then I can strongly recommend that BTCC. Okay, we traded some Ether here today. This is Ethereum on the pink sheets. You could see some movements long and then out there, and we took another long right now as it's trying to go through 1833, and we'll wait on that one. AMC, some nice outs on the upside. Now it's just floating around. We're 5% in on that one. Microsoft still the dollar. Palantir's at day highs still and trying to break above $24. So we'll wait to see if that does come through. But right now, yeah, I see the celebrations, man. It's Celebration City right here as we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions, and they're all making us some cash.
Yeah, you got to like it here. And this, again, that's what we talk about that focus. I still want to get you INVO. Look, hopefully it's a 5-minute halt and we'd actually get back into that one. I want to go to, and again, there's a lot of names that we can cover here, and I didn't mention Pinterest. It just took out a fresh high at 67. This is a name that on a dip probably would have been even better than everything I was looking at. But unfortunately, Neo just has the advantage of having that extra liquidity. You get a similar look. We're already into some support. If Pinterest can take out the top here at 67 and we continue screaming, 70 even was a big level for it yesterday. You see a lot of charts that look exactly like this, know where the resistance is. A NEO, a bit of a turn, so it looks like I might not get that final target. We might not hit that 39.50. So we'll have to be happy that the move that started down here at 36.70 and included the rip to 38 might terminate at 38.80 as a top. My last out there at the 67, of course. That's the second long, not the first.
I don't know why we're supposed to call Brendan Cathy, but
I have no.
Okay, go ahead, Brendan.
I'm still wondering myself, Randy. Apps here, guys, a name that pops up every once in a while on news. Digital Turbine up 11% today, picking up a little online media company, private media company. So big move here, 65 to 70 for apps today, guys.
Apps, okay. Okay, so we're just looking here. I may just get out of everything. We're holding these longs. It's been a monster. I mean, wow, NASDAQ, 3.5%. I'm so glad. I messaged a couple people last night, and I said, just because they always ask me what I'm buying, and I said I'm buying AMD, and I hope they did as well. That was 74 now to 78 today, and you guys know I was buying that as well. And then I also told them, of course, I don't care. I mean, I'm going to be an open book with my investments. That, 219 here. I said we're also buying some Square. So let's just take that to the upside as well. Today, Square, a nice little 9% move to the upside. That's off that low. I think I bought, I don't know, what did I buy? 212 or something like that the day before then. Yeah, I guess it must have been, the high it was around, right in here somewhere. 212, 213. So it's not like I'm crazy in the money, but off of yesterday's low, wow, Square was fantastic. Up that, like you see up here, now 9%, up to 221. But I mean, a lot of these names right now just getting to be a little overdone maybe here. As Palantir, hell yeah, guys. The money just spits out here on Palantir. So let's see if this keeps going high up. I mean, 23.85. We did this again, man. Yesterday, Palantir, the #1 stock. It looks like it'll be there again today. 23.25. What a great, we did this yesterday, man. The exact same play. We loaded up on the initial move down. We found a key level that we liked, and then now it's to the upside. The only thing is I don't have enough shares. I never do when this makes this move, but a nice little upward move there for Palantir. Congratulations, guys.
Finally, actually into INVO since the pre-market. Of course, you get the downward halt. Short off of that, 930 was the halt down price. That's where my stop is going to be firmly placed at. And again, you should probably not be trading something like this unless you have hard stops. I was able to get 12s to the short side when it reopened. I just took some out there at 870. So you get a 40-cent win there, risking about 20 plus slippage. I'll take more shares out in front of 850, around 850, and then all the way to this pre-halt bottom. This is the last halt bottom, 780. So it halted upside at 780. This was also the support level, or at least the bottom of the wick here on the last upside halt. So 780 is going to be that target. Again, you can maybe take $1 worth of a scalp out of it, or like I said, tight stop at that 930. So you want to make sure you don't turn a winner into a loser. That's why hands off the keyboard. I don't want to sit there and hold just because I like the short. You got to make sure you have a bit of a stop. And speaking of stops, that Zoom. And again, you can talk about relative strength, relative weakness all you want. It does finally burst through. I talked about taking it off, some shares off in front of that high of the day. I went ahead and did that. We've only had 2 longs in this stock, and both of them around that 327 mark. This time I only get 330s and change, so it's about $3 instead of 4 or 5. But there's no ignoring the fact that as strong as the market is, Zoom, one of the few things that isn't even testing those fresh highs right now. So slowing down, but I'm still going to hold that long as we're above that quarter mark. Brendan?
All of these looking very similar here. Twilio, another one, 12.8% for Twilio today. Back to this gap level on the daily chart, 363.5. So rejecting that at the moment, but huge move again for Twilio, guys.
Yeah, we just talked about that. I mean, what a great move that was. And again, with the NASDAQ coming back like crazy today, you are going to have those high beta names that are tied there that are going to go absolutely nuts with it. So no surprise. Look at Spotify. Look at Roku today as I just look at my board here. Roku, Brendan and everybody up again, another 8. Is it 8% today? Yeah, it was. Yeah, higher than that at its high. Roku here, 753. There it is, 7.7%. So Roku rocking right now to the upside. So a lot of these names, I just took off Microsoft at 85 there. As just noticing the NASDAQ, again, we're going to make sure that we put the profits in our pocket. We're 3 times our daily goal right now. It's only 10-11, so we're pretty happy with this day, and let's just keep the winners coming. But, if you don't see anything, there's nothing wrong. Like, we take advantage of that NASDAQ move up, right? Take advantage of it. Put that money in your pocket. Pay yourself first. So we do that, and now we just let some of these run. AMC's not doing much. We'll wait for that. Oh, Rocket, we could check back in. We haven't, nothing, man. I mean, Rocket to the downside. downside. You did have that explosion last week up to 42, 45, something like that, was the high there. We'll see if it can still get going, but it's going to take like a Wall Street Bets or something like that again to get Rocket going. I mean, this is just, it's already a nice move off that bottom where we recommended it at 20 before the move, before all this hype. We had that at 20. You guys know that. So congratulations, even if you're in there, still a 20% win. And then we get paid, right? You get paid on that special dividend, another $1. So realistically, this thing's about 25 bucks. Put that cash in your pocket, guys. But you know what? I mean, everything, as I look at the NASDAQ, everything's moving here. If there's a name you guys like, let us know. AMD's up there, eyes moving around as well. We could check that out.
Yeah, and look, it's going to happen. There was a quick question, and we try to show you guys level 2 when we can, about how did I know it was going to be a downward halt in INVO based on level 2. And this just shook me out here, and I talked about what my rule was going to be on this short. So I end up getting out, and this will be me right about that top wick, and you're going to see it come to the downside. So, we try to be as honest as possible. Having a rule is going to cost you sometimes. But the only reason I knew it was going to be a downward halt is before it hits the halt state, what will happen in the case of a downward move, let's imagine like 850 would be a potential halt price. You see the bid go down to 850, the offer will come to 851, and at that point, nobody can print below 850. So anyone offering 850 or trying to hit that bid or trying to sell the 45 or 48 is going to be posted to the offer at 851, that 1 cent spread. And then the bid and ask gets thicker and thicker and thicker because it can't move. It can only go up from that price if it just moved down into a halt. And it cannot go down. There's 15 seconds of a window for it to move up. If it does, no halt. If it does not break out of that 1 cent range within 15 seconds, it's going to halt. And because it was a move to the downside, I can see on the chart, that's why I knew it was going to be a downward halt. All about reading that tape there. Brendan?
March 11th, earnings for Jinko Solar, guys. JKS, we saw a couple of solar names and clean energy names on the downgrade side of the board this morning. But wow, 17.5% straight to the upside here for JKS.
And straight to the upside still for NIO. I actually thought on this pullback, okay, yeah, it's about to come test through VWAP. I don't want to give this thing all the way down to 37.75 anymore. And NEO just keeps going and going and going. So we'll do this key, whichever one that is. I don't know why I keep hitting the crash and it explodes money, because I guess that's like a bad thing. It should be for shorts. That's what you should have hit for the eyes trade, Sean, because it's like crashing and then money for a short trade. Anyways, NEO through 39. I did have the target of 39.50, so I guess if it gets there, we got to stick to our word and see if I can't get out of it. So I'll throw an offer out in front of that 39.50. NEO been a bit of a solid bounce play, but you can't talk about the EV space without. And I said this, earlier. You could probably pull up a chart of XPeng maybe, and of course Tesla breaking to highs as well. So you got to watch out for Tesla. Tends to lead the pack. I mean, if we're screaming through like a 620 on Tesla. And again, I only talk about 620 because 620 was a key price on the way down. If we're screaming through that price and NEO has a shot to just bust through 39.50, I might cancel my order, but I'm very likely to get hit here for what'll be a second win on NEO, which is like $1.20, $1.30. And this all started on a dip buy, which was unbelievable around that 36.80 price.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't believe I had that NEO pegged and got out at 37. I don't know why. But we have everything else, so that was good. Microsoft to the upside. I mean, anything long today. We talked about Facebook today. And like I said, Brennan can verify this. I said NASDAQ would be up 4%. I cannot believe it there, and so that's why we went long. Nothing wrong with having bias, especially when it is right. So that was a good one there, and now right to the upside goes Facebook. That 3.8%, the NASDAQ just rifling through some of these levels today. Wow. And of course, what happens when that happens, the other side of trades go down, and that's CCL. We talked about that trade as well today, possibly getting some legs. So CCL right now as well taking to the downside. A rotation out of these open names back into tech. That started already, and glad that it's here. The only thing is I did not sell any JP Morgan. Okay, good. So JP Morgan's staying high. So it looks like I'm wrong about some of those theories there. It's staying relatively high, even though we're down 1.5%.
See, but the whole point is that's not wrong, right? Like the whole notion being, I mean, if you're trying to raise cash and you think things are topping out and you want to put it into something else, you've got to sell it. Now, in your case, you're like, JP Morgan's holding up. I actually said I didn't think something like U.S. Steel would sell off, right? So when I made the comment that you could sell something like Caterpillar or U.S. Steel to get into or put more money into some of these names, we talked about Snapchat, whatever it might be. Well, U.S. Steel does come back in, so I like this puppy at 7. I'd call it like actually no, a little bit closer to 18 and change. It's nowhere close to that right now. Just a quick look there. But some of those cyclical names actually are pulling back in, even if the banks are holding up there, Sean. So that means relative strength in JPM. I'll check back in on Caterpillar at some point. But I'm finally done. We're all out of NIO, so I'll actually hit something that makes a little bit of sense. No one usually accuses me of diamond hands and longs. I tend to scalp a lot of these trades, but NIO was, you just know it's usually going to be the one. Let's be realistic about it. It's a better day trade. I've been caught oftentimes, you guys will see this happen, trying to bottom pick Tesla and then just not having the good read. So you move to the stock that works a little bit better for that. And then NIO giving you 2 fantastic longs, both on the breakout of that pre-market high, but also the dip buy. So the only 2 ways that we liked it, we're able to get it. And I can tell you Zoom is finally making a move. So zooming to the upside and breaking through high of day. Like I said, I wanted to hold through a top break on Zoom, so it's through that 333. We're now $5 in the money on Zoom. And keep in mind, and I think the level that was mentioned was 340. I tend to concur. I won't sell unless we're back to that break even or we're testing that 340 area. This market cannot be stopped, at least for now. You want to make sure you're holding on to some longs. I don't think there's a short on the board right now for any of us.
Yeah, no, I don't have any short ideas right now. Palantir, though, I mean, you want to talk about bulls coming in through and kicking the crap out of everybody. Palantir up to $24, like a 77-cent win right there. So yeah, hell yeah, on Palantir. The only thing is we did drop our Microsoft, like what else is new? A little bit early. Come on, man. We got this out like 234s when it started ripping up there, and then the NASDAQ just continued to go. So a mistake there for me getting out of Mr. Softy, my favorite stock, a little bit early there. Could have been a lot huger. But the thing is, though, we talked about this early and often, man, this 233 level there on Microsoft, the biggest one, and now you're at the 234.50. So I just hope that you guys are able to get some of that. Anyways, talk about small caps. That's not what Microsoft is, but Brendan has the recap.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at small cap world real quick because only 2 of them that I was looking at today. ANPC, I mentioned just before the open here, 1050, 11 above that. I mean, 1250 was the top end of the range in the pre-market. This was pretty choppy off the bat. Did give you a quick little scalp there at the open. I actually turned long through 11 all the way to the 12 area resistance. Once we get back below that 1050 level, gives you another opportunity to the downside. So pushing towards $9 right now on ANPC. Eyes as well. That was a great break. If you caught that early right off the bat through 19 to the downside. I was kind of looking at this level and this level from the pre-market, which is 18.5. So below that, another move down to 15 now. Almost day lows for Eyes. Guys, back over to you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Neil, it just keeps on going and going and going. I wanted to talk about BNGO, but yeah, maybe we got a little too early. 3950 was going to be that target. We showed why. I got to have somewhere that I like to get out. I'm not going to hunt for, usually I'd be thinking about 4-0 on a move like that. Oh man, I should be shorting into it. But I'm going to stay away from that. You know, the last thing I want to do is like start getting into like picking tops on some of these names and throw away some of the profit that you made on the morning. But I will come to, if I can, BNGO here for a quick second. Bingo. Not nearly as strong. It is up 5 or 6%, but I mean, show me something that isn't up 5 or 6% on the day. Overall, since the open, it has been mostly weakness for this particular name. You do see, anytime I see this, either at the open or just before the open, a rollover at like an 840 level, and then on that opening push, it bounced down, tried to get back up, could not hold above an 840, testing that price again. Yeah, of course you got to file this one away. So it's only 1020. Wow, this stock. Look, if you guys aren't enjoying this, take a second to hit the like because the amount of action that got packed into this open is absolutely insane. But BNGO, I would think that 840 for like a lunchtime or power hour type of push, as long as it manages to hold consolidation above like 810 or around VWAP, I mean, 840 at some point does look like a bit of a breakout play. 1 time, 2 times, now 3 times it's managed to hold it. Your only issue is it's more of a scalp than anything else into this 865 top. But given the liquidity in BNGO, that's not a bad play at all if you get 15 to 20 cents and then look for a top break as well.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I was looking at the same thing here with the Palantir and just wondering if we are going to break that $24. Let's just check what size there is here. It's not that much, so you could get an easy $24 break here for Palantir. And I don't know. I mean, we're already nicely long here. The market just continues to rip upside. Is this the right name to pick? I mean, XPEV up 17%, NEO up 13%. GameStop, man, just keeps on running. GameStop up to 240 and taking out levels right now is GameStop. So, wow, I don't know, man. That seems like it's a pretty juicy one to me. But I mean, take it if you want to. 240 again. I don't know. Obviously, it's ramping up there on Wall Street Bets again because, I mean, it's not something that this stock is actually worth $240. But nevertheless, guys, don't make that mistake and ignore it. But GameStop moving. Let's have some Palantir right there. There it is. Our last little bit out there. It's only our last little bit, and then now we'll wait to see what does happen at. There we go. So we go long on a 24 break. This one is going to be slippery. Not too sure, where we're going to give this one back to. I'm debating back here into the 70s. Sort of if we do break back down below this, we'll give back some profits. But right now, we'll go long on Palantir and just see. That was a risky spot because it's already up so much. Like our initial longs were down here, 23.25, 23.10, 23.15. So let's not let this one get too carried away. But right now, Palantir looks like, guys, it wants to bounce off that 24 instead of extending through. So let's give this a little bit of room and see back down into the 70s, see if we're right on this.
Yeah, and I think that this is actually a good time where you give things a little bit more room just to see how far they could go for you. I can't get away from this push here in NIO, and I just finished saying it, so let's be honest for a second. What did I just say about that 40 even? I'm not going to jump in front of it. Usually that's a price I'd just be looking to fade in front of because you can take like a 95, 96, scalp it because you're giving 5 or 6 cents worth of risk on a break. Yeah, that trade would have worked out. And I think it's important to note that, yes, it would have worked, so I can sort of record that mentally when I'm reviewing the day. But the reason I think to avoid it was solid. We're still pushing to the upside. I was watching Tesla still pushing towards the highs as well, and there was enough reason not to take that trade. I mean, if Tesla had already rolled over, I think a little bit of a different story would have been in there for me on that particular name. I want to come back to Pinterest, which I did mention. It is doing a little bit of a consolidation at that 67 area. And INVO, by the way, just opened up again is at $11. If it does another set of upside halts, I'll wait for a down halt to make another trade in that. But Pinterest looking like it might roll over. This market slowing down a little bit. So taking profit where you can is very similar to NIO. You got that bottom pick here. And look, you could have taken Snapchat, you could have taken Pinterest, NEO, whatever it is. But if it turns around, make sure you grab some profit. I mean, $3 on Pinterest on a day trade is pretty fantastic in my opinion. If you happen to have this one, not nearly as strong in terms of how far it broke up. I thought it could go to 70, didn't get close.
Okay, still watching, man. We're still watching AMC and just to see what that can do. We're waiting for Palantir to fall back down a little bit. It does come back down, so we did take off a little bit at 95 there, literally just right now at 95 there as it does come back up off this 01 break. So we take a small 6-cent hit. The reason why, and again, like I just get missed again. I was bidding right down here 82s, and it actually goes to 82s. So I got to switch. Here it comes again. So you'll see right now, just so I can, so you see that I'm honest here. Hopefully that comes to 82 and we'll get the fill and then you'll see what gateway am I on? Edge X. So we'll see here. There it comes down. There it is. So there we go. So there we go. See, told you I was waiting at 82. So now we get an 82 long on that one and it pops right back up. So now our average price back to 94, guys. So you know what? If this market takes out the high, then yeah, Palantir hopefully busts back up through 24, but it's already been a big move. And we know that Palantir is like relatively weak, right? So don't forget about that. Palantir has no problems falling. It seems like it's easier to fall than to go up, but let's take a little bit more off now. Average price 94. So yeah, man, this could be a big runner for us if it goes, Palantir.
Yeah, I mean, slippery. NIO just broke 40. There's basically no stopping this move. And this INVO stock, I mean, wow. So it gives a downward halt. Again, if I don't follow my rules here, you're probably getting absolutely crushed because it's now making fresh highs. I thought it was about to, it was very, very close to going into another upside halt. So guys, be very, very careful with this. I mean, if you're long at $5 or $3 from yesterday's close, it's now giving you 4x from yesterday, 2.5. I mean, 2.5 from just like this breakout price at like in the pre-market here. I mean, these are all kinds of crazy moves. But there's only been one period since the open that it's managed to trade for more than 5 minutes before halting. And I think it gives you an idea of how perilous it might be holding on to some of those longs. No one ever went broke taking profits, in my humble opinion here, until it either makes a little bit more sense or gives me a downward halt. I'm going to stay far away from that one. GameStop, on the other hand, he's given you all kinds of movement without any of these types of halts. Now, 210, you can say what you want about that particular level. This is that opening range top about this 235, and we're looking at that. It's trying to hold above here. Now, GameStop never really tested 250. I like that as a psychological level if I were to think about shorting it. But if it cannot make a push here, watch for a 235 or a retracement. I mean, it would probably come into VWAP at that point for your next little bounce. Brennan?
I mentioned Jinko Solar a little bit earlier. It's March 11th. This one as well, also reporting earnings. Rensola, S-O-L. 35, 36, 37%, depending on where you look at it. $14 up here, that gap level from the daily chart, guys. Huge volume behind this, SOL.
And there's a lot of these names busting up today, guys. So just be very, very careful with what you're doing. A lot of names breaking out, and a lot of names that, you know, like yesterday. I mean, again, yesterday, I think it was the #1 stock again yesterday for us was GE. And I mean, or no, sorry, it was Palantir. But, you know, this is why. Yesterday we traded GE and we absolutely demolished it. And then today you're not seeing the volume. I think at this time already it was like 70 million. You're seeing it down today, so we ignore, right? And I think that's the one thing, if you're going to learn anything from us, man, it's that. It's trade stocks that are moving, and there's another name, that Rensola, just another one moving. I'm going to just keep taking some out here on Palantir, as that was a nice little dip by there. So I don't know if it's going to break above 24. The NASDAQ's pushing that 4%, like we mentioned. So yeah, look, man, I thought this would have been above 24 already. Our average price right now, 88, so it's up to 94. So let's just see if Palantir keeps printing us some cash.
Yeah, I'm gonna check back in on Zoom. It's still, I mean, it just pulled back into 330, held 330. That's a good sign. But now trying to test through that 334. And as long as we're pushing fresh highs, and we're up at the top on the NASDAQ. I mean, I haven't even been looking at the ES, but that's also at the high of the day as well, so it doesn't really matter. As long as we're pushing these highs in the market, I'm comfortable holding on to it. At some point, I might just have to give up the ghost and put a 330 stop in this, because it's not going nearly as rapidly as I would have anticipated. If you saw me with my head down, it's simply because the other trade I want in INVO is when it starts screaming down and into like this previous halt price and likely to give you another halt, which it just did at 1047. I just tried to get short when it broke 11 to get short into a downward halt. Then if it opens lower, you're basically taking profit on the reopen. But I missed it the first time doing that same play. I couldn't get it this time as well. So I'll be looking for a similar thing where if I can get a reopen below this like 1025 area, use like the 1050 as an out. Risk 25 cents. See if you can't get it back into this cluster at 9 even, so like a 2 to 3 or 4x type of trade with definitely a defined stop. And of course, the defined stop burned me last time. But if you say, I mean, it didn't actually burn me. I mean, I ended up losing a little bit of money there. But if I held on to it, didn't have a stop, it burns you even more because it halts up, and then maybe you're losing, I don't know, $2, $3 when the upside was 50 cents, 60 cents, the way I was going to trade it. That's never a good idea.
No, you got to have risk management, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm just still looking at Palantir. I don't know why. It's because this is my biggest position right now. I mean, this AMC too is a little bit puzzling to me, as it's just basically not doing anything right now, so we'll watch that. GameStop, we just talked about that, 234, 235. Let's see what it looks like on a 1 minute here. Yeah, I mean, even the breakouts don't appear to have been fantastic. I mean, it's just, I think you got to hold this name. Like when we saw that there was some action down here on the downside around that 210, like that's an actionable area because it was the bottom here in the pre-market. We talked about that. There were some other reasons for 210. So to me, that was really the only trade there, was that, you know, something around 210-ish there, just to protect that bottom. So you could have taken that. And then right now, I think the only other trade right here is if you really got excited to break this 241. So that could be the next upward move to maybe a 250. Like I said, you got to give this about $10 worth. Like if you're going to go long 241 and not give it all the way back to here, then honestly, I don't think that's the right risk and reward for GameStop, Brendo.
Another little one just popping up here, SINT, Syntex Technologies, medical equipment maker, submitting one of their products for FDA approval this morning. They haven't got it yet, but they did submit it for a review. So 30%, just breaking back down though through 250 there on volume. It's 10:30. That means there's an hour left in the session over in Europe. Miss V is watching what's going on over in Europe. What's up, V?
The European markets are positive following a rise in the US stocks. Earnings remain in focus. M&G insurer trading in Britain is up around 5% after beating earnings expectations. Back to you.
Yeah, widespread buying across the board, guys.
Yeah, widespread buying. I mean, you can see still no short positions across the board for either one of us. And I think that's just the reality here, guys. But, I mean, if you don't like the action, I don't know what to say to you. We're looking bullish today. And I want to come back to ZELA, which Brendan has mentioned. I saw a couple of people asking about this one in the chat. A lot of times this would be something, oops, that's the wrong direction. A lot of times this would be something that I'd be looking for a retracement, at least in terms of style. But there was a question in our Q&A about when stocks are making fresh highs, what do you look for in shorts? Yeah, already way past any levels on the daily chart. You get a breakout through that, and then you start considering, okay, well, it's making a bit of a double top. Well, I need to find areas that I can play off of. Whether I like reopens on halts, which I'm looking at INVO right now, which actually, oh, does INVO give me an entry point? Yeah, it looks like it's going to off of $11. We're going to give 11, actually more like a 10.50 is going to be my out there on an INVO. But again, I need to find levels. I need those post-halt trading in particular names that don't have any levels on the daily chart that I can work off of.
Okay, there it is. So INVO there. I haven't looked at that one yet, but we are now aggressively, man, into this Palantir. So we're into this here at 76. Oops, is that Palantir? Yeah, there it is. At 76 right now. So we take another little downside move. We see where VWAP is here at 60. So, you know, I want to give this at least probably, I mean, not at least, it's not too far down, down here to the 50 area. If that can come through, then great. But here we go back up to 75. That's a key level there. So maybe we'll take a little bit off here, but we do like that play. And now Palantir, I don't know if I like it or not. I mean, if the NASDAQ bounces, it's great. If not, we have a defined out, like Neil was mentioning, like I keep mentioning as well. You can't be a trader if you're just going to hold things forever. So that's called investing. So right here, we'll look to see 2350 on the downside. We'll see if that breaks. If it does, then we're flashing out of this one quick time, guys. So that is Palantir. And again, there's some size. See, there's some size following it down right now. So we got to get that cleared out. And that's only going to happen with a big NASDAQ move. So let's wait to see. But it looks like it's testing that 2350 right now. That's Palantir to the downside right now. There we go. That size just followed it again. So yeah, it's going to be under some pressure right now, PLTR.
Oh, and there it goes. Look, I'll show you two things at once here. And apologies, because I know INVO was on another chart when it happens. When the stock opens up and I'm looking at a different name, I got to get out of it because this is entirely too volatile a name for me to sit there, switch my main chart over so you guys can see it live. But again, I always have my rules to get in. It immediately takes out that pre-halt price once I get my entry point. So again, I get in, I get out very, very quickly. I don't recall seeing on level 2 it go up to 1150. But again, it's just so volatile that it actually could be a legitimate print $1 higher. You got to have a hard stop or have at least an area where you know this was what it means to be wrong on this trade. Otherwise, it's going to be suicide. Brendo?
All the EV names positive so far, obviously, guys. This one just popping up, though, on a volume alert. Lordstown to the downside. Just had a big spike down there. You can see volume coming in at the bottom there on the sell side for Ride, guys.
Lordstown, yeah, look, I mean, again, some of these EV names, man, they're just getting cracked right now. So, okay, so we actually got out by accident. I canceled the wrong order. We got out on the VWAP break there when we wanted 2350. We talked about that. So what I had to do was sacrifice again 10 cents. So like now, you know, I got out 58, and as soon as that happened, I was like, what? You might have heard me under my breath. Like, what just happened there? So I got out. I canceled the wrong stop. We were getting out on the VWAP, but you guys heard me say I wanted 2350. So as soon as I saw that, again, you know, no crying over spilled milk. You pay 10 cents more and you just get right back in. That's how much I like it. And if you like trades, man, you got to put on some size. And so here we go. We're right back, man. We're walking on that water. And let's just keep going to the upside right now with Palantir. A nice little long through 67 right now. 23.67 upside. Just took some out there. 86 was some out. So that was a good one as well. That's a good trade. You know, this Ether ETF, I'm not doing that well on it, but we are short right now. So short 18, 14. see it dipping down here to 18, and we just took some out. So that's the only short that we have on. And here goes Palantir now. It looked like it was trying to go there. Let's get another little piece out at 80 if we can. It just touched again to 86 again. So I mean, this is a big runner. Let's not play this NASDAQ game. Let's take some profits when we have them, guys.
A shout out and thank you, Sean McCaffrey, for the super chat and the kind words, of course. I mean, we try to give you like a different blend, of course. It's the idea behind the team here. So we're glad you appreciate it. And look, there's so many of these names, and you'll go to QuantumScape here, and of course, it did give that 50 break. If I'm looking at INVO and we're trading Zoom and we're looking at GameStop and we're trading and NEO here, you're not going to catch everything, but a good breakthrough 50 even gave you a bit of a pullback through that price. And the key thing here, I'm going to show you this dip. It dips down to like 49.40, and then on the secondary push, it even dipped down to like a 49.65. Just keep in mind, like the stock has a 15-20 cent spread. So, really the offer might not have gotten down that far. And I think that's one thing you have to consider. It's not just where it prints, because that could have been like 1 share or 5 shares or 10 shares printing on a stock like QuantumScape. You usually have to give these a little bit more room on pullbacks. So if anyone that maybe had that break at 50, if you got jiggled out of it, it's not like taking a 50 break on NEO, where it might be reasonable to give it back to like a 49.85 or a 75. On QuantumScape, usually if you're not giving it a buck, you're not giving it enough room on a stock like that.
I'm just sending the link here because I got to actually. So this week, Brendo, the players. Get out of here. Oh, this whitelisted, damn it. I got to get out of this and allow this site. But the players here, I'm in a pool, so I'm going to start picking some players for that, and we'll see if you guys know of any ideas who's going to win that tournament. Drop it to me, text me, or no, text me. I'm not giving out my phone number. What am I, crazy? Message me on here on Twitter. I'll let you guys know that, and then we will see about who you like in the players tournament this weekend here. And I don't know, I'm thinking, I mean, that Corey Connors, the Canadian kid, doesn't seem to be horrible either. So we could definitely watch out for that one. And then, Rory McIlroy. I think Dustin Johnson's probably playing in it. We'll do some more work on that and get back to you. Palantir, again, guys, the only real position that I have on, we'll watch that. Microsoft as well, back to 233. So that's good on a little dip. We could have bought some there. Back to VWAP. That would look like his fantastic trade. And then let's see where eyes was. Holy shnikes, man. That was a chicken dinner winner. Look at this first trade. On eyes here, man. Only if we had held that. 18.20 short, cashed out. Still one of my top stocks here, but wow, missed opportunity on the downside there. Just rocketed down. We actually made money on this long, which is crazy. We made money on the short, then money on the long. Just wish we would have held that one. I believe that was Brendan with Sector Watch. Take it, bud.
Hey guys, let's have a look at the overall S&P 500. A bit of a reverse of what we've seen over the past week or so. Yeah, I wonder what's leading. This is the tech sector. The entire group, every single stock outside of VNT in positive territory. Really, really positive territory. ENPH, MPWR, 7.8%, 11.25%. The semis are leading the way. Hardware equipment makers as well, 4.8%. IPGP, Apple, 4% to the upside, finally bouncing as well. Look at PayPal, 6.4%. SNPS, ANSS, I mean, pick one now as well. NOW, 5% to the upside. Healthcare stocks also having a nice bounce back day. Pharmaceuticals on this side, the healthcare equipment makers on this side. We've mentioned a few of these already today, but both groups very, very positive on the session. As we've seen over the past couple of weeks, or we saw, I should say, banks and energy stocks primarily leading the way. Here's the banks, the individual banks. Some of the diversified names are still in positive territory, but individual banks, profit taking coming in. As we've talked about, that's the energy sector way over in the corner there as well. Pretty much the entire thing in the red. Etsy having quite the day, 10%, trying to bounce back. eBay, 5.8%. Amazon is up 3.5% on the day. So really, really nice for some of the online retailers. 11.6%. Just wanted to point out Tesla, 11.6% now to the upside. Let's go back to Sean.
Amazing. Tesla's 11%. Okay. Okay, so, someone just said enough fills there. I mean, I'm just trading the way I trade, man. I don't have enough conviction now with Palantir to hold this one through the top. So I just don't know if it's going to go. So, I mean, every time I can get a chance to reload these trades, I'll do that. Like out again at 85. I mean, we're long 68. Palantir just continues to be a cash cow for me. I will try to hold now, I think. I'm pretty light now. So I have about a third. I have a third left of this position here. So each one of these is out. I have a third left. And yeah, look, man, that's just the way I trade, like in here and out, right? And then we missed this whole move. Oh, not miss at all. We got some of it. But then, you know, a reload and out, and then a reload and out. And it's just, you know, blessed to be over here at Day Trade the World and have the opportunities to do that, to get in and out and actually pay. Like, I'm only paying today $16 in fees, and I have 191 fills. So, wow, okay, there it is. Let's go, Palantir. Here we go, guys, right to the upside. This is where you hold on to something. We still got a third on, and now we're rocking and rolling with Palantir as it just takes out 24 even. So there we go. We'll take out another piece at 24, and here goes Palantir to the upside. Up, up, and away. Props to everybody with me on this one. Big time trading. 50-cent win on Palantir right now and 25 cents on AMC. Go, PLTR.
Yeah, and we're still making fresh highs, which is crazy. This market's still pushing to the upside. The NASDAQ, though, stalling at least a little bit. IMVO has now come back. This is like the third time, I want to say. It's actually made a bit of a downward move, but we are in a down halt situation again, so it's going to be the same plan for me. This looks a little bit weaker than the last downward halt because you open back up, you don't press to a fresh high, which it actually did last time. So if it does give you any look, and again, I try to look at these previous halt prices. I look at this 980, that was the bottom in the last move. I didn't get it despite the fact that I was short. This time, if it opens anywhere between this like 980 to like 10, inside that very, very tight range, I would give it probably back to like the 1050. If it opens below 980, I could only give that trade to like a 10 even stop and then try to get it out at VWAP. So it's a very, very, it's sort of tricky because it is two separate plays here depending on where it opens. If it opens in the tight range and I'm able to get a really, really good price, like 990 or 10 even, I'd much rather give it to that 1050 area. But it should be open in about 2 minutes. We locked and loaded and ready to go on that particular name. Coming back to NIO, it has given a bit of a pullback. Now, usually on a move like this, with the market still looking strong, I would have been thinking if we hold the highs and we dip back in, you're talking VWAP, you're talking the last cluster, so 38.85 or 38.50 would have been where I would dip back into a long position. I don't actually see it printing down there to that 85. It looks like a bad wick on the chart. And I'm not going to chase this move. You don't want to give away your profits, by chasing things too far. But if it does come back and give you a shot to consolidate at 85, and we're still pushing the high, I would like NEO on a bit of a retracement. But it's gone so far that there will be some profit taking on these rebounds, right? When you look at stocks like this, we talked about it with Mark Roberts when he was on the show. When you get these multi-day moves, and essentially, it's like how many green days, since this top at 66, it's basically only counting today 5. You're going to see profit taking when you get moves like that. So you anticipate where that might be. It ends up being at 40. So we could push down a VWAP. It would not surprise me, especially if the market actually rolls over, which it hasn't even done yet.
Palantir goes up to, yeah, I mean, look, I think someone said, is this a dead cat bounce or is this for real? The NASDAQ probably falls back down again at some point here. I mean, this is a big move, but the NASDAQ, like we mentioned it, man, we called up the triple Qs for you guys, and it's just been clobbered, right? So I think that this is a fair move back to the upside. We could check out the Qs right now, actually, just to give you guys a rough update, because a lot of you will trade the Qs instead of the future symbol. You may not have access right away to that. So you can see the triple Qs is an ETF for the NASDAQ 100. See 3.5%, 3.58%. So it's very, very similar and very much tied. The charts will obviously look identical. And this was those levels that we talked about in the pre-show there. We wicked down, we've come off. Do I think we can get back? Sure we can. It's only $10 from now back to VWAP. This was a 10% move down. So that puts us into correction territory. But, that's this is the thing that people don't, I know you guys understand this, but there's people all the time asking me what do I do? This market's falling down and blah, blah, blah. It's like, stay the course, bro, because we were down 10% and everyone's like, oh my God. Well, you just made back a third of that in one day. So you gotta be nimble. You gotta keep some cash. You gotta be buying. That's why we were buying the last couple days. We talked about that. Sure, we had to hold it against us, man. But look what's happening today. You're getting these moves back. You're getting AMD back to 77, right? I mean, look at these bottoms, 75. You don't have to put your life savings into these spots, but I mean, you could start building. I mean, when DraftKings, it was live here on the show that I was like, guys, if you're not into DraftKings, This 55 here, when we retested this VWAP and broke it, this is 50 period, sorry. We retested that. It went down into this cluster. Like, that's a great nibble spot. Could we fall? Sure, but if you want to get into this game and start investing a little bit, I think that you got to take advantage of not only days like today to maybe raise some cash, but also take advantage of those down days to get, into names that you like. And Square, I like you, Brendan. I like you a lot.
Yeah, a lot of these names just having amazing days so far. NCTY, I mentioned a couple times, back to highs here, but having some trouble, guys. So testing this 49 again for this NCTY. Bitcoin news on this, if you didn't catch it, they're buying a whole bunch of, or they signed an agreement to buy a whole bunch of mining machines. There it goes. Just broke through 49 there for NCTY, up 27.5% on that news. I mean, if you look at SOS, not so much. Yeah, coming up, guys, for the first time, we're going to do this live for you. So stick around. Immediately after the show, we're going to go over a Neo trade. Neil's got the review for you coming up at 11:35. So make sure you don't go anywhere, guys.
I mean, good thing I could review with this INVO, but again, it's going to be the same thing. It looks like it's about to show that weakness. And look, I'm going to have a tighter stop on this every single time. And if it rolls over, you're going to see me make this high. It worked out covering it last time because it would have been a disaster. This time on the same short, we talked about if it opened up in that range, what we wanted to do here. It breaks that 1050. You're going to see me get out. Ignore that wick. It didn't actually just go up to like 1120 here, but this stock is just showing all kinds of strength. So I'm probably not going to chase this too much. That reopen trade is certainly not working currently on that particular name. So we'll get away from INVO. You don't want to start throwing away too much profit. But I do want to come back over to GameStop, if only because there was a break of that 235 at least one time. It couldn't really push anywhere down towards VWAP, and then made a test higher. Now, if it does this, I would have expected maybe it has the juice or the legs to get to 250. It is really, really slowing down. The market's also trying to roll over a little bit here. I would tend to think that if it takes out one of these even levels, and usually these have been okay if you're doing them in front of the highs, the 235 on the way back in, I think could be a scalp trade for me. Now, keep in mind, a scalp trade means in on the break, and of course, I mean, there it goes. I mean, on one trade, if I don't get it right away and like just there, I didn't actually get that fill. I don't even want it. But it would have been in on a break, and then you're immediately getting out on the first little flush down. So it actually gave you to like 32s. But as you guys heard just live and saw on the chart, if I don't get it in and out on the break very, very quickly, I don't want to chase that trade. But it looks like it was just turning as I was talking about it.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know why I'm still on DraftKings here. We'll still watch that one. We got in and out. I mean, I only have AMC and Palantir. I mean, we're pretty much near our day's high today, so it's been a good one. We're trying to find some more names. What about Twitter? TWTR, oops, why? TWTR, there it is. Twitter's on the New York Stock Exchange. It's up a nice 4.5% so far today, up to 66.50. Again, on the daily, another one that's been just taken out right now from 80 down to 60. And again, like worth nibbling again on Twitter. It almost got to that 60 level, but why not take a shot there at 61? I am a Twitter bull. I do own shares of this name. I bought some on the last dip, I think the 35 it was. So this stock can move, but right here, Twitter making some new lows here in the last 10 or 20 minutes. So this may be coming back in, as you can see what the market's doing right here. What's up, B?
I was just reading about Bumble, guys. Remember a recent addition here, Bumble, BMBL, up 4.8% today. Volume very, very light, so just tread lightly if you're going to get into this. But earnings tomorrow. First earnings report for Bumble as a public company tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, that should be a very, very interesting. It's weird that you mentioned Bumble, and for some reason I'm like, okay, we got to remember to talk about Roblox, which actually direct listing tomorrow, and then DoorDash, which. Yeah, this name getting a bit of a bounce today. And if we go back, and I just got to show you what 140 means, because there was a forever buyer for days at 140. And we talked about this every single day that this was holding that 140 area. There was one breakdown you could take for a short. But from there, it made the push off those highs. We're right back. It broke yesterday. No reason to have missed that trade other than just pure laziness. But we're right back into this 140 range and trying to hold higher. If it does not make this little break, this little higher low is just above that 140, called a 141. I like this through this 137 to the downside. So as long as we haven't taken out the high of day, I like a 137 short on DoorDash. I do have to double check to make sure that we actually have free shorts on this. If not, make sure it's a reasonable price to pay. And speaking of prices to pay, we don't pay a lot for shorts. You guys don't pay anything for the show, and the reason why is because we're trying to grow the community. It's about everyone learning. But if you don't like the content you're getting right here, it's kind of crazy. Valeria literally wore green, knowing that today we're going to be up 4%. Miss V, if you don't like that kind of a prediction, of course it was Sean's prediction. But Miss V is in the green. How could you not hit that like? What are we doing here? How are we not getting to 7,000?
Absolutely, Neil. Guys, I think we deserve a like, only just for a green short. Look at the market. What a great day. And also, we need to get 5,000 likes today. Only you can help us. So please show some support and smash the like button right now. Back to Neil.
That's right. Well, don't smash the like button. You can lightly tap it, and of course, as I said it, I do actually have to go in and check to see how much it's going to cost me to short day here. It doesn't take very long, but I'm going to go ahead and do that.
It costs nothing. It's less than 1 cent. Yeah, I like it through 138, guys. So I'll be a little more aggressive on this one. A 138 break on Dash. We're going to be into that one. Lock up. We'll see what happens. Yada yada yada. But we'll see if Dash wants to give it up. I mean, it's still up that 4%. We'll see if we can't make it rain down on Dash there for you. So we'll wait to see on that one. Palantir giving some back a little bit. Not really, but we can say that. And then we'll watch out for Twitter here. I mean, the NASDAQ could bounce again. So, there could be some more upside to some of these plays. So we hold on to our AMC and we hold on to our Palantir, both 20 plus cents in the money. We do have time for Brendan at the big screen with Money Talks. Let's see how crypto's doing, although I already know.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. Yeah, we're off the highs. We'll have a look at Bitcoin. It did get almost, the white line is 55. So we got almost to 55,000 and then turned on a dime and has since dropped about $850 in a straight line. So coming back in a little bit for Bitcoin, but you can see we're still up nicely, 4% on the day for Bitcoin. Ethereum, 1.5%, 1% for Ripple, back to 47 and change, 47 cents, that is. Everything else pretty much to the upside so far today. The U.S. dollar showing some weakness. Once again, the rally we had over the past couple of weeks in the U.S. dollar. You can look at DXY, the U.S. dollar index, coming to an end. Showing some weakness. So downside, 0.4% here for the euro, the Canadian dollar, 0.14%. Back towards that 80-cent level once again for the Canadian dollar. British pound, 0.5% to the upside. You can see Australia and New Zealand both higher. Some volatility coming off today, so a little bit negative for both the Japanese yen and Swiss franc. Guys, back over to you.
Oh, there it is. Swiss franc. Everyone, you got to know what's going on with the Swiss franc. Certainly, Bills 4 and Swiss franc. I love that song. Someone just asked, and thank you very much, Niagara Charlie. That's Canadian dollars, so I'm assuming you were on the Canadian end there. So I love Niagara Falls, by the way. I was married in Niagara on the Lake. Absolutely love that. I love that area. You've heard me talk about lemonade. I talked about this sort of, I don't want to say ad nauseum, and again, about my personal opinions of it having made a top there and being sort of patient to wait for it to pick back up. So, I mean, I have actually gotten back into this name myself in front of that 80 level at 85. In terms of everything I said about NIO, people taking some profits or catching bounces and you could sort of come back in, that sort of goes double for something like this. I mean, where the valuations are so extended. So you have to be very, very careful if you're swinging into this. I think you're swinging with a stop. I wouldn't love it for a swing trade if we're breaking through that 85 again. I think it's entirely possible that you go back to that 70, which is, I think, the best, one of the best prices to get in if you go way back with that 70 range. And it wouldn't be crazy that if we do start taking profits, we do start coming back in, and this is just a temporary bounce, you could see lemonade at 70 bucks. And if your time horizon doesn't allow for that, I think obviously you might be better off waiting for it patiently. If you're talking about the current day high, well, yeah, we'll just look at the last couple of sessions here at 94, 95. Clear resistance. So as the market starts to roll over, if you caught any bottom here at 84, 85 or 85, 86, and you were thinking it was going to be a day trade or a scalp style trade or even like a quick little swing, taking that profit makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. Unless you have a really long time frame on this one and you want to be holding through some pain, that's a completely different story on the short term. Big time resistance 94, 95 in this stock. And if the market rolls over, this is one of the first types of names that will go if you're talking about these high flying runners. And as I say that, I mean, you already see a bit of a pullback here. And I wouldn't be betting too heavily that we retest the highs on that particular stock. I just talked about DoorDash pulling back in. I did show you that 325 break So 235 break potentially on GameStop. Now, obviously, I did miss it, and if I chased it, would it have worked? Yes. Does that mean you should do it? I don't personally think so. When you're scalping something like this, you have to stick to your rules. This is a really ugly chart for these wicks down here at 218. There's no significance to this price that I can tell, but just dark pool prints. It is not actually going down there every single time. I still maintain that 210 was a monster level, so if it does continue its fall, the only place I'd be going long would be if it can bounce off of 210. So unless GameStop goes through that price, that's the only thing I'll be concerned with for now. We're also concerned with going to Brendan.
The Socket Mobile, SCKT, we've mentioned this one many times, but coming off here from the highs, got a little bit of a squeeze treatment there off the open, up to almost 12, I guess. Wow, down to 10 now for Socket, doing a whole bunch of volume, guys, 32% on the day.
Socket Mobile. Okay, well, we just got back from, a reload. So here it is, guys. We did this a lot yesterday. We brought it back a little bit here. It is fruit salad time once again. It looks like watermelon, Valeria, here. There seems to be a lot of watermelon, some pineapple there, and some honeydew, and some nice little tasting grapes. We'll leave it for now. We'll get back to the market there, but it's fruit salad. And you know what? Stay hydrated, guys. Healthy snacks, good for you when you're day trading as well. Make sure you keep that flowing, and the good thoughts will come today. Wow, GameStop 234 still. A Neo $40, Apple, Tesla. I hope that you bought some Tesla there, Prad. We talked about that yesterday. I was like, you know what, if you're gonna be a long-term trader or investor, what better to buy right now than Tesla after being beat up so much? Watch out for 67 break here on Twitter, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could probably think of a few less sexy names that you could have picked up there, and Apple makes a lot of sense to me. I actually really liked Snapchat, and I think that makes that also fits the bill. Two stocks that I don't know. We talked about these in the pre-market, both Beyond Meat and Peloton. I just want to come back to Beyond Meat here because anytime you sort of see this, and of course we did mention that 142 top area, and it was a bit of an ugly, not an ugly chart, but a choppier chart on the week, so it might have some trouble breaking out and extending the move. This is what I was sort of getting at. The other side of that would have been if I had any kind of sense of not just going long a bunch of things today, that probably would have been like a rollover short. But now we're going to file away a 140, well, it's like 142.80 here at the top yesterday, but I'd look at a 143 break. As long as we hold these lows, it might be like a tomorrow type of play, but I want to make sure I write that one down, that 143, a double, sort of a double top a couple of days in a row on Beyond Meat. The day that it breaks through, you do have a bit of a, it's not really a gap, but you have a lot of room to get to the next little stops here at like a 154. So it thought there might be some trouble getting through it today. It ends up being right, but the actual trade will be when it finally does break through. And the fact that it consolidates can sometimes make the breakout even better. So you see those long consolidations. I'm not sure this will be a terribly long one if the market continues pushing in the next couple of days. In the event that it doesn't, it just means holding support is even more significant, and that is down at 134 on Beyond Meat.
So it looks like, let's just check back on Dash here, because that's the one that we're waiting for. Yeah, 139 still holding out. So it's still not trying to take out that 138. So I think that's going to be a good trade. Obviously, we've talked about why. There is the lockup. It's pairing out pretty nicely right now, I think, anyways, for the long, or for the short, breaking through. It's consolidating. The NASDAQ's making this move down. So I think this looks like, to me anyways, a decent spot here to get your money into Dash on the short side. If you are looking to short something here, Dash would be my pick through 138. So wait for that. See if you can get that one through 138. But that's Dash right now. There's Tesla, up 13, 14%. Riot up. Eyes making a move back. Where was that bottom on Eyes there? It's up to 15 and change, 14.50. This may be worth it. Watch out for this 15.50 break on Eyes, guys.
Well, Eyes, that stock is absolutely, it really opens your eyes how crazy that stock has been. Of course, that's a horrible pun. But let's come back over to a Socket that Brendan just mentioned. So on the verge of, we're going to go to Brendan in a second once again, but on the verge of another breakout here. Now, you could take like a 1610, but if this thing can actually make a push, I think 1630 is going to be a more interesting price. Why do I always do that? 1630 off the open, 1630 in the pre-market, but on the volume spike at the bottom, that's where it terminated. I like that much better for a significant price than the current potential break it has right now. Brendan?
A little spike in Boeing here, guys. They're just updating some, looks like February order numbers for Boeing on the 737 and 77 7x. Orders for February, a little bit positive, I guess. Yeah, big pop here for Boeing, guys, up 2.3%.
Hell yeah. I mean, I've been loving Boeing from long time. So yeah, I love Boeing. I mean, if you're going to get your money into any name there, I would do Boeing right now. I mean, Boeing a gift yesterday on the downside. How low did that go, actually? Not even that low, man. We're long at 212 on this name. A great name to put into your long-term account. Boeing, I told you they're going to get more and more orders. So that's a good news there. 82 jetline orders in February, guys. And that's not even from China. Wait till China starts coming in and starting to buy this up. So there goes Boeing, man, just through the roof. And I love this name. Watch out for yesterday's high, though, 230. If you break that, then we could get something going on Boeing.
And speaking of breaking, skills, and we talked about this when they got that deal with the NFL, a potential partnership with the NFL. Who knows what will come from it? Short seller report on it yesterday, which if you look at the chart, yeah, this is the red candle on the short seller report that came through in yesterday's action. Where were they at 40? Where were they at 44? Where were they at $40? Where were they at $34? I don't know. They come out when it's already gone all the way back to that volume spike and even below the breakout price on volume back in like February 4th. Finally, anytime I see something like that, where it's that late in the move to the downside, you get the short seller report. If it can hold the low, and I'm talking about right here, right now, and this is a 24.85 current bottom. Actually, check that. It's 24.75 current bottom. If we can hold that for the rest of the day, usually you tend to see these come back in a decent way after the short report is revealed, the position has been revealed. So I'm looking for skills to hold this level, and that could be an afternoon type of bounce. That could be a tomorrow bounce, but you can't ignore them when they happen. I can't believe DoorDash is doing literally nothing, Sean. It looks like that break to the downside is going to have to wait. It actually might be like a lunchtime or after lunch play. You got to be patient with it.
I mean, and patient, we are not, because I'm tired. We want the winners, guys. And I'm not sitting here just for fun. Well, I am. But look at this. 230. Hell yeah. Spin it. Spin it. What did I say was going to happen to Boeing there if it broke through 230, guys? We take that trade, and hell yeah. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day again now. As there it is, man. We wait to get our money in. Thank you, Mr. Wickens. Bang! That's another one right there. Hit those bangs for you guys. We're here, man, and we're here large today. Large and in charge today for us, as this market just keeps on pumping out the winners, man, and we're not going to be afraid to take them. So there it is. Bang! Out at 50, out at 31. That's a smooth dollar in 1 minute. Hope you're liking that. Hope you like the show. Come back. Don't go anywhere. What am I saying? Come back. There's still 30 minutes to go, and we're just getting started. So here we go. Let's go, Boeing. How high do you want to fly? We just gave you that 230. Let go.
Good look up, Boeing. Actually, well, we're doing something today that it's been a while since we've done, and of course, that's going to be our lunchtime trade, our lunch money. I'm glad to have that one back for you guys. OGEN. It's another one of these stocks that usually on a day I'd be a short this name for sure. I am going to start looking at it as it pumps back into VWAP. I usually would have had a consolidation short of like a 138, but it's been on the radar, and I've waited patiently for the pop. It's now finally starting to make its move, so I can jump into this one. About like 125 to 130 is going to be the look. Now, keep in mind here, Tesla about to break the high. Now, remember, Tesla's been a bit of a barometer for some of these more high-flying names overall, and I want to come back to NIO for that reason. As Tesla is pushing towards the high, and it's about there right now, 635, NIO looking like it wants to try to take out a double top as well. So remember what I didn't do at 40 even? I am looking to do here at 40.35. If Tesla breaks through, I would take this trade off. Wouldn't take this trade, but if we reverse through 635 and don't break, I'm going short through 435 on NIO for the first time actually taking a short, and then we can reverse into a long. Brendo?
XELA, we talked about it earlier, guys. The Zila Technologies, I'll show you the headline again here. $90 million contract for cloud-hosted PCH Global. Just tested $4 on a bounce there, or I guess it was $3.90. Big volume came in once again for XELA. It was this level down here. 340 was 52-week highs for this thing.
There it is again, guys. We hit the cash money, and there we go, out 231 as it's breaking. Now, I hit the key twice here, which was by accident. I meant to get 230s there, 230.50. We get it once, and then I hit it's so stupid, basically a market key that got me out there. But obviously, Boeing's still going. Look at the NASDAQ still going as well. So hell yeah, super happy. And then, by the way, guys, this is why we hold on to something. Palantir now back to the upside. It tested some lows there, so we did take 20 cents there each, but now we're ripping to the high side now as the NASDAQ getting going one more time there. And I said I'd give you guys some ether trades. There's a breakthrough, 18, bang right there, a little short. We get out of that short right away, bang that through 18, now 18.20. So a nice little win there. And then our AMC, just another win for us. It's so crazy that the only, so far today, I'm 8 for 8 or 7 for 7. Check the numbers on the board. This is the only loser I had here on this break back down through VWAP, and I just didn't trust NEO, and then it's just like, all the way to the upside. So about as easy as it gets there, and I miss it on that break. So just didn't give it enough room. It was a little early. I was hella long everything else. Glad Neil had it. That's your trade of the day. Although, yeah, I think there's multiple trades of the day today. This is a good one. Check back on Softy, still 233. So I think we did good getting out of Microsoft. Just dead money sideways since we got out, guys.
And so, I mean, this is not going to be the trade of the day because I didn't look at Tesla today, but wowzers Tesla. On its pullback, it never even tested pre-market lows. 585 area, 588 looks like it turned to. But I mentioned just there I would take NEO short. I got 40.16, so hey, 416, why not? 635 just tested. It broke for like a split second. I got 05 as the top print before pulling back. Now, that was the reason I liked NEO for the short side trade because Tesla was testing the top, and as long as it couldn't hold through, we'd grab into the short trade. However, it's not like Tesla is cratering off the high of the day. It's only gone like $3. So if we break this and go to like 636, 637, I'd probably get a NEO almost wherever it is. Currently 30 cents in the money. I'm not going to be too greedy here. If I can get like 40 or 50 cents on the scalp, I'll go ahead and take it on NIO. It's not about hitting a home run. When you're shorting in front of a level like that, like a double top, it's always going to be a scalp. But in this particular case, I want to make sure I told you guys the thought process. Tesla cannot make a fresh high, and then I'm sitting here holding on to this double top. There's almost no way NEO wouldn't go as well. They tend to be moving lockstep. That's why the charts are similar. Oddly enough, though, the one thing I just noted, and we'll pay closer attention to this next time I see through, NEO, and we talked about NEO dipping further and giving you better entries on that dip buy. I mean, Tesla didn't even approach that pre-market low, so that was another signal there. When Tesla turned, I got to go back and see exactly if there was an opportunity to pick up more NEO at that moment, but that's something to analyze after the market's done.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Palantir, we just took some out at 99 there off of our long 68. So yeah, that's a good trade. And now we'll just wait to see if we take out the day's high. We believe in this trade. It was a good trade for us. And then, average back into it right here. Rate at this level, we got taken out. That was a mistake by me, no doubt. We had the wrong order type in. We got out at VWAP break. We did not want that. We wanted a 50 break. As soon as we realized that, we busted it long again. And that's what happens when you believe in your trade, right? I could have easily got out thinking that this was coming back down, but we wanted to give it to 50, and that gives us that reward. I guess, is it a reward? I don't know. To the upside there. So we'll watch out for for Palantir to break even higher now. I do like the trade, but it needs to work for us. So there's still more coming here, hopefully for Palantir to the upside. XELA, I know Brennan's brought that a couple times to us here. It's on the NASDAQ. Come on, Sean. Up to 407 right now, so watch out here. Oh, come on, charts. Again, remember, we got to switch our charts. If you're with us here, welcome to the show, but we got to switch it over to NASDAQ, and sometimes that takes a minute to load. A nice little, I just want to show you this. VWAP here at 370, it held it. So if you are looking to, or are long XELA, watch out for this 360 break. That's where it could get real spicy.
And speaking of spicy, this is going spicy in the other direction, DoorDash. So I'm gonna go ahead and cancel my stop to get the breakdown trade. And anytime it's now $5 away from it, you want to make sure you're reassessing here. If I like picking a top on NIO, I'm probably going to like it even better on DoorDash. If we break 144, it's sort of an obvious out. But if we consolidate here and I can pick it up in front of that high of day, I mean, it's a setup I usually like. It's a stock that I actually think is relatively weak. And the only problem with DoorDash is, oh, come on, you kidding me with this spread? I will only chase as far as like 142 half or so. I'm not going to go like a million times chasing it down to 141. If my out is 144, I want to risk like $2-3 bucks. I don't want to be sitting here risking 4 or 5 or getting too out of hand. But if we get an entry around this like 142 half, that's what I'm trying to do with a 144 stop at the high of day. Tesla just turned to 630. So I'll probably get like 40 or 50 cents in NIO. And it's not that you couldn't hold something like this. But overall, If I identify something as a scalp trade off a high of day, I'm usually taking it into the next little bunch up zone. And for me, that's right around that 39.60 area. So I'll be perfectly happy with it. Tesla, if Tesla was crashing through 625, and I had a chance to cancel this order and hold for 39, then I'd go ahead and do it. But it's not like Tesla's falling like a rock. It's still holding in a $5 range at the high of day, which is somewhat of a sign of strength, even though this market is starting to slow down, at least in terms of the upward move. Hopefully I get that DoorDash fill, but there's no promises. I'm not chasing that stock at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, like how is that going up? Like
It makes
that,
no
right?
sense.
So you know what? Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going to cancel that order there. Make sure that we do cancel that for sure on that DoorDash. It looks like we did. Sorry, see again. Like we switch our charts. Let's go. Bowling there. It does go to 231.50. So just to check back there, I know there's a lot of you trading that name. So watch out there. We did talk about why we got out there of the majority of it. It makes the move that we thought it could make. So you know we take that out instantly. And this is what it's all about. Like I just said there. Now I'm up to $28 in fees today. So, I mean, 232 fills. Diamond hands we are not, but money hands we are. And we'll just keep it going, man. I mean, if it's working for you, keep it going. We're at our highest spot of the day so far today. Part of that was getting out right there on Palantir. So that turns out to be, looks like what looks to be a good out there on Palantir. So we'll take that at the O's and then we'll wait for higher. And then we're still holding. And this one, I mean, this is not something that I normally will do, but I mean, this AMC trade, I've been holding it the whole show. I mean, it's 11.12 right now. This trade happens at 9.44. Our best outs here, 9.90, actually exactly 9.89. That's our best out. The high of the day, 9.96. It's funny because I still have an offer out at 9.94 right now in case it does spike up back there. But I just want to wait to see because we've seen what GameStop has been doing all day today, and right now nothing. So I just feel like if we do break back out on GameStop, then we probably get a little more love forward there on AMC. So that's my rationale there. Whether or not it's good or not, I don't know, but we'll wait to see on AMC, and we're just holding a small.
Yeah, and sort of, I know we talked about this one before. Do not get those mixed up. AMCX has actually been a mover, AMC Networks, recently. Oddly enough, it itself has a 20% short interest, and it's been getting the squeeze treatment, if I can say that today. But it's actually been pulling back in, so it looks like that momentum. It's weird because the second it hit the mainstream, and you guys might have heard another station which started talking about this particular name, AMCX. Suddenly the squeeze was slowing down, so a bit of a sucker's play on anyone that was buying when that station decided to mention it late. For me, I'm gonna continuously watch this. It doesn't do the best volume, unfortunately, for 400,000 shares. So you got to pick your spots. If this retraces, of course, 69 is low of the day. If this actually goes below a 69. In the upcoming session, I am going to look for potential short through here. It does give you like $5 to the next support level, so $4 to the next support level at 65 even. But because of the volume, I don't like it as like a breakdown trade at this particular time. If you can catch that with some cover at 9:30 tomorrow, that would be much better for me. Tesla's still holding 630 to that 635 range. So that Neo short, I mean, I might not get more than the 20 or 30 cents that we have here right now. That's how strong the stock has been, unfortunately. And someone asked in the chat, do I think INVO is going to just drift down for the rest of the day? Well, I mean, how do you think my read's been on shorting the stock? I shorted the pre-market and was actually making money every single time it popped into 575. I was shorting it and getting it out in like the 20s and 30s, and then took one long position. Made a little bit of coin and then lose on the short. Don't lose a lot, but lose on the short. Lose on the short. Lose on the short. Lose on the short. Do I think I'm confident it's going to drift for the rest of the day to the downside? Not at this point. If that changes, I'll let you know, but it looks so strong all morning long here. Thankfully, it's been paper cuts, but still, I have no confidence it's going down for the rest of the day just yet. Let's go to Brennan. It's time for lunch money.
Yep, time for a money sandwich. As you saw, we had a great guest yesterday, so we didn't get to lunch money, but let's do it right now, guys. We'll give you a couple of trade ideas that may or may not pay for lunch. I'll kick things off today. Orogenics, OGEN. They had some news today regarding a intranasal COVID-19 vaccine that they've, from what I understand, they sold the actual device and the vaccine itself to another company. So they've been developing this, still in the trial phase, but looks like they're out of the COVID-19 vaccine business for now. Anyways, up 40% here. 125 up here is currently VWAP. I don't have it on this chart, but I have it on another one. But it's currently VWAP, 125. So short this, I mean, you can take it anytime. Not a fast mover, but 125 the out there at VWAP, looking for a move back to just day lows here, 110, then 105 if we can get it, guys.
I just want to give a big shout out here. So, I mean, we just gave you Boeing. I'll find another lunch money trade, but I do want to give a big show. Where are you here? Here it is. Kareem just sold Boeing, 1.2K there. So good job there on that one. You know, a 230 break. 230, yeah, okay. It'll be at 330 soon, don't worry. 230 break up to 232 there. A nice little $2 smooth there for Boeing. I'll have to look around for some lunch money trades, boys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I actually like that OGN. I just talked about it, but like, look, we can't double down on that. So I'll go back to one that I think still has a chance to come through. I mean, you're still getting some consolidation here in that DoorDash. So I can actually cancel those orders. I mean, getting into it on sort of anything but a consolidation is not the way that I like it. But I actually see this previous top at a 141, 141.20, and then you look at this level here, like 141.50. So if we can break down, which we're pennies away from doing, I still like the short in this trade. It's going to be through 141.50 with a stop at the high of day on DoorDash. But it's missed that first consolidation. Now it actually gives you a breakdown look at 141.50. I really like that OGen play as well, Brendan. So good luck there. I might be joining you in that trade, to be honest with you. But I'll give you guys 141.50 breakdown on Dash with a stop at the high of the day and a target of first target would be at this low here at 137, and then VWAP, and then from there hold some in case the floodgates open up.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well look at NEO if you're looking for one trade because you could just break through this high, 40.30. So I'm going to wait for that. It just touched it out and then fell back. So 40.30 break on NEO I think is worth at least 20 cents there, and then you can buy your lunch. But I mean, it's also breaking down a little bit here. So we're not long yet. If it breaks through 40.30, that'll be the trade there, and I think we can get to 40.50, at least retest day's high, which is only 35. So of course we'll get to that spot at some point. So that's going to be that trade, but it's not really doing too much, so it's not really sexy enough for that. I mean, we're trying to give you guys trades that are happening now, not like what-if trades, right? So, okay, this 233, how close are we to Microsoft's not there yet. Let's see if Apple gives us something quickly here. Apple's maybe too expensive for a lunch money trade as well, but there it is. That break is looking pretty nice. 120.63. Apple goes all the way back to 121 today. That's a decent trade there. So I would rather stick with NEO just because it's up so much today. Apple's still that 3.5%. It's a great looking trade there as well, but a nice little pullback here in NEO, not giving me what I'm looking for. So maybe this Apple trade is the better one right now. 120.60 break, guys.
There you go. Actually, it's interesting because as we were going through that, I had a quick look over at that, that ZELA stock as well. And it's not to call this like a lunch money trade, but there is sort of an afternoon power hour, what were we saying, witching hour type trade, or whatever you want to call it, whatever name you want to give to the post-lunch session. Whenever you have a high-flying stock like this up on news, and then essentially holding gains, like it's rounding out throughout the top. You look at this like 350. I mean, it's broken VWAP, but you had to look at this muted pullback that it had into like 346. So holding a higher low, that's a VWAP hold in my book, and I know you pointed that out, Sean. So that's why we'll say, like, it can break like 10, 15 cents, but it really held that low level in any regard. If it continues to hold that low throughout the afternoon, this is one of those like, you know what, to the shorts that take it when it retests 450. I've been on the wrong side of a trade like that. So you look for like a 450 break. Usually like 130, 230, something around those lines, and just sort of keep in mind, like there's no levels to work off of at this point. Like and we talked about this earlier. Like it's not like a stock which is pressing towards some previous prices where there's a little bit of FOMO and people are taking it off. You have to think about that when you go to the higher time frame. So I like a 450 break, so long as we have not broken this 350 level. So that could be one of those power hour, late in the day trades. I've seen that kind of a move happen literally at 4 o'clock, which is a little bit crazy. Bit of a new thing we're seeing in the markets where you get breakouts at 4 when the market closes. So who knows? Either way, I'm going to like that 450 on Zila.
By the way, successful lunch money, unless you guys hit already. Bang, there it is. You're welcome. Hit the backflips right there for a quick little boomer for your lunch money trade of the day right there. Brandon, thanks for this segment. There it is right there. Along on NEO, right through 40.30. We take it. We're out right here, 40.45. That's a 15-cent win. Congratulations. Anybody had that with you? Hopefully, or with me. Hopefully you guys can have that. There it is out. And we'll just hold a little bit more to see if we can eat lobster here instead of scallops. So we'll see about that right now. But there's the break right there. We actually got a great price. 29s we get. And now you're through 50s. 51s, 52s. Your boy is here, guys. And there it is. Have whatever you want for lunch. Have a bang. Have a hot dog. Do whatever you want. But there it is. We go 1 for 1. I know that. Wow, that's loud. I don't know if your trades hit yet, guys. But there it is. Lunchtime. Big time success. Let's go.
Somehow DoorDash is literally not moving. It's about like 25 cents from hitting me on the bid. I just want to show you guys Tesla did break that 435. So I win on the first half, lose in the second half of NEO. Said I would get out if NEO broke the high of the day or Tesla broke 635. Both of those things happened, obviously. I mean, and you can. These are following lockstep. NEO taking the high when Tesla took out that high, and we did say a couple of times if you are watching Tesla. Actually, no, maybe we didn't mention it. And if we didn't, apologies for that. If you look back a couple of sessions ago, or at least back into last week, there was a sort of failure, and this was an opening break trade at 660 that got to like a 670 level on Tesla. So there's room on this move to probably like a 660. So keep that in mind. Regardless of which stock you're trading today, the market's about to retest the highs on the NASDAQ, and you might want to have some levels to look at on these breakout trades. And Tesla up 13%, so it obviously is a leader. NEO, a hair better than that at 15, though.
We've already, we seek the revenge. And we're going to have no negative stocks today. It is what it is. That's welcome to the jungle. If you're here for the first time, what's up? Because, check out all the trades. I haven't posted that many today. Just been too busy making that cake. But you guys here, I'll put it in the chat. You can follow me. I put the trades up all the time. And it's the real deal over here. So, you guys, if you're not enjoying the show, I'm sorry, but I hope you are anyways, because today, look, we can review some trades. AMC, bang, huge trade right there, right? Boeing, that was an easy one. You guys just saw that. There was no problem there. Eyes, the biggest trade that I let go of, but it was a monster here. We put on a lot of shares there, broke that to the downside, a great trade, and then we actually broke 19 back to the upside and was able to make money all the way back to 20 there. That was a banger as well. NEO right there, still working for us. Palantir, it doesn't get any better than this today for Palantir, man. That just keeps getting slayed right now. The Dragon Slayer on Palantir. It hasn't moved well for us for our positions in our swing account because honestly, it's only going down. But as far as the day trade, man, we are destroying this name as it goes. Microsoft, here's another trade. These are all, you could see the numbers at the bottom. All my positions are there. All the profit I've taken is there. So it is what it is. And then Stitch Fix, man, talk about a killer right now. Stitch Fix on the lows of the day. And this was, again, one of my, here's the list. Look at these numbers right there. What's NEO at? $40.50? How about $38? There's Microsoft. There's CCL, $27.50. You can look that one up. How about that Stitch Fix 50 at the very top there? How's that looking for you guys as well? So yeah, it's been a monster day. There's the sheet for you. And even if you only had this trade, hallelujah. But we're at the highest spot we've been at all day. Welcome to the jungle. It's only 4 times daily goal, but you guys know we got to up that anyways. So whatever. 11:25, 5 more minutes to go in this banger of a day, guys.
Yeah, only 5 minutes to go, but do not go anywhere, guys. We talk about this, of course. You're going to be sort of kicked over to it automatically. We're going to be going over a trade review. This is a new thing. Now, we've done trade reviews in the past, but we're going to do these live. Go over, we'll pick one trade a day. It doesn't have to be a winner. It can just be something which can be instructful. So we'll jump right over to that after the end of the show in a couple of seconds, guys. So you'll sort of be thrown to it. I think it's a valuable thing to do because, ultimately, if you're not also trying to learn, sometimes the days where you're making money can be the easier days to ignore reviewing your trades because it's everything worked. What am I going to look at? I was perfect. No. Sometimes to go over how you could have done better or how the trade evolved through it is an important thing. So that's what we're going to try to do with the NEO trade. I do also want to come back to one last thing because, might
look
be
at
one last
NEO
thing.
now.
But yeah, NEO still pressed through highs. Tesla, by the way, almost at that 640. I did note that we talked about a couple of these sort of talked about X, U.S. Steel, talked about Caterpillar as well. This name running into resistance to the top as the NASDAQ pushes to the highs. Some of those cyclical names that have trouble breaking through could actually turn into sells. So I'd watch out for something like a Caterpillar. It actually already made one bit of a dip here, but this could be a bit of a rollover if this market can't extend. It's still flat on the day, but having a lot of trouble breaking through. It's the tech names that are booming. Brennan?
Just seeing Vuzix, VUZI, V-U-Z-I, popping up. Rio Tinto deploying their 3D glasses and smart glasses for some safety training work. So Rio Tinto using VUZI, V-U-Z-I, 17.8% here, just made a day high. You can see volume coming in for VUZI, guys, a heads up on that. Let's have a look at what's coming up after market tonight and before the open tomorrow for earnings, guys. Still some earnings to get to.
Yeah, Green Organic Dutchman, screw you. That's another cannabis name. Campbell's Soup, not a good one. As I look here, I'm not super excited.
Roblox direct listing is what we're concerned.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's Roblox is what it's all about. And then what this is all about right now, too, is, guys, yeah, lunch money, no more, guys. Look at this. This is now turning into lunch, dinner, pay your bills with. Whatever you want to do, because there it goes, man. NEO right to the upside. We're long at 30. Here's 40 cents now. It goes as high as 50 cents for you in the money. So there it is, a smooth little lunch money trade for you there as we go upside now and just continue to crush it for you. We had 5,000 likes. If you haven't hit this yet, guys, let's just do it now. Only 500 more gets us to our 5,000, and then we can get closer and closer to be able to drink that champagne. If you also hit the subscribe button, this needs to get to 200. We should be able to do that. Hit the likes, guys, if you can, if you're enjoying the show. I mean, I think it's been obviously, I mean, I don't have any losers today. I know Neil doesn't have many either. So
well, that's not true. Remember INVO, guys.
Okay, so
look,
Neil has some, but
INVO started out a winner for me. Let's be honest about it. But then I started chasing like shorts over and over again. And it's like, you can take paper cuts on it. That's fine. Like I could be, if I actually dug in on any of these shorts, I probably wouldn't be still trading, to be honest with you, because this stock, it's so strong, which is crazy, up 250% and still showing signs of strength. It's about to maybe make a break at 11.25 here. It's hard to buy up at these prices to go long, especially given the liquidity on this name. But if you are going against the grain and you see these multiple halts, you have to have a plan of action. Mine is to wait for down halts. And that didn't work today, but it has worked in the past, and you got to play your A+ setups.
I mean, I mean, here we go, guys. I mean, NEO just ripping. I mean, we're infinitely up, not infinitely up money, then we'd be up an infinite amount of money, but close your eyes, or no, we're not gonna do that. We'll just do the wheelbarrow today because now this is 55 cents now in the money. Oh yeah, remember what we were doing with AMC? Holding just in case? Well, coming back. Here comes the cash cow one more time as AMC comes right back in, man. I mean, this is what we're doing. It's winners, it's education, it's having fun. I sure as hell know I am. The streak continues, man. We are just crushing names, crushing symbols every single day. I mean, welcome back to the show. If you're back here every day, if you're here for the first time, welcome and join us every single day as we do this every day. All you need to do is just hit subscribe on YouTube and you'll get that link every single day so you can come in and watch us just continue to do this damage to the market. Valeria, wrap this thing up for us. What's up?
Hey guys, what a lovely positive day today. Thank you very much for joining us today. And come on, we need just 400 more likes to reach 5,000 of them. So guys, please, we need your support and your like. Stay for Neil reviewing his NEO Trade Live, and happy National Meatball Day, everyone.
Oh, hell yeah.
All day.
Those meatballs don't look super Italian, but we're down with me. Those look like sweet and sour meatballs. I'm down. But yeah. Great to have some meatball love. Here's AMC. I told you we had an offer at 94, and here it comes, guys. So if we can get that out at 94, that's going to be a monster win for us. NEO's approaching huge levels. I mean, everything's been a great day. I'm down with meatballs. Valeria, are you?
Do you love meatballs?
Yeah, turn around and tell them.
I do love meatballs.
There we go. Valeria loves meatballs. Brendo?
Of course. How can you not? I'm with you, though. The pork/beef in pasta with tomato sauce.
Oh, that's what. Look,
and
pasta,
veal?
tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Tomato sauce. I don't mind sweet and sour, but tomato sauce is that's the way to go. And so I'm hungry right now, guys. But we got to get out of here because we got to get to that trade review for the entire team. For Miss V, wore green, and we're up 4%. For Sean Katina, We both have the checkered shirt today. I just noticed that. And Brendan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you right now for the trade review. Bye, guys.